Yeah. Welcome to the Top 4 podcast. My name is Peter. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm celebrating people. I'm joined by Oscar, Chelsea fan.
We've got Super Tommy Tuchel. He knows exactly what we need. Thiago at the back, Timo in attack. Chelsea going to win the Champions League again. We've got Super Tommy Tuchel.
Oh, wow.
Timo at the front. Good lord.
I know, I like Timo at the front.
Go in attack, man.
I'm joined by Robinho, a Manchester United fan.
Never in my life have I wanted very bad things for a referee. This week, I wanted very bad things for a referee. But we move. We move.
No. You spiced things up right there. Can we talk about Manchester United's Champions League exit, please? Can we kick things off there? Because as much as they weren't in the news this weekend, I remember last week on the podcast, people were very confident that Manchester United would beat Atletico. And I think there was one man on this podcast, and that man, Oscar, what, are you putting at yourself that you were confident United were going through or going out? Yeah. I said to you, fam, I wouldn't put it past
Oscar.
Atleti.
No, but Peter watched the game. That's the key thing. That's the key thing. You did not watch the debacle that went down in that game.
What took place, Robin?
Peter, when I tell you, about 20 times I tweeted the referee had the bet on. Don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, Athletic did their job. But my gosh, there were things that I saw in that game where I said we should have had a penalty. A goal should have been disallowed. About 10 people should have red cards. Even when Ronaldo is shouting at the ref to open your eyes, like big time, like things were going wrong. And I've never seen Old Trafford that pissed. Like it was reminiscent of oh, my camera's gone down, but you can still hear me. It was reminiscent. Remember when Chelsea fans were pissed in 2008 because of the refereeing? I'm not saying it's that level because that was corruption, but I'm saying that's how angry the fans were. It was that bad because of the refereeing. Yeah,
Robin, was that the reason why United went out? Was it due to the referee?
No. So, in all essence, what happened is that Atletico, when they scored the goal, good goal by the way. When they scored the goal, Ante Langa was pulled back, slide tackled, and obviously fouled. So when the goal went in, everyone was like, okay, well, Ante Langa has clearly been fouled here. Okay, no VAR. Referee says it's fine. I was like, okay, cool. Bruno Fernandes got kicked through the middle of the legs in the penalty area. Clear pen. Nothing. Referee's this like this. Nope, going to carry on. And then every small foul was just going Atletico's way to the point we was thinking, no, something had a bet on. And it was just a whole game. That's the reason why when you saw the video of Simeone running down, it wasn't because all the fans are angry at Simeone. It's just because of his team benefited so much and the fans were so angry they needed to backlash at someone. And unfortunately, he was just getting the rump from it. That's why everyone was so pissed.
I saw him get absolute, like when Hogan turned on WCW, like when he turned on, was it Savage? That is how it looked like. My man was getting pelters. Now, obviously, I just harken back to Simeone Beckham. That's what I just thought that was all down to. I thought, because of the history they've got there, it's Manchester United. I just thought that he shot like Usain Bolt. I was like, where's he going?
He ran down in front of it. Wait, let me read out some comments, and then I want to get into my thoughts on the game. Shout out to everybody watching already. Big up C1. He says, big up the panel. Stinker CR7 and Bruno Hernandez. Don't ruin Robin or Ernest weekend. They must be good. Oh, they must be good because they didn't play. Yeah, I feel you. Boss like Endo says, Robin, you are arse. Don't do this. Don't do this. Big up Tencent.
I'm not saying that. No, but I'll answer that question. I'm not saying Atletico didn't deserve to go through. They did, and I'm saying props. Well done to them. That they're well deserved. It was just the way. Even in the group chat, I said I don't mind going out, but not like this. Not like when there should have been something to fight for. And that's how I just felt for the last 3 days after the game. I was just like, no, somebody's paid this ref. Like, I should be seeing us going into extra time at the very least.
Here's
But then
where-
fight it out. Yeah.
Here's where I'll agree with Robin. Stats were revealed after the Manchester United Atletico game that, Peter, in the last 30 minutes of this match, so from the 60th minute to the 90th minute, the ball was in play for 11 minutes.
What?
11 minutes.
Time in the last 30.
Because the constant, every time we had the ball, referee would stop. Even this, you know, Atletico player got fouled. I can't remember who it was. No, something happened in the box. He just fell down, and the referee just stopped the game.
No
one was near him.
That classic Spanish wit.
No one was near him
in the Champions League knockout stage.
So, on the game last week, Boss Like Endo gave the prediction that João Felix would turn up and knock Manchester United out of the Champions League. And I was very against that notion because I thought Man United were going to win, to be honest. I was completely wrong. But I thought Man United were going to win. And I didn't think João Felix was going to be the guy that just turns up and bodies them. But in fairness, I was extremely disappointed with Manchester United's performance. Like, I felt like they limped through this game. Manchester United played like a draw was enough, and you still weren't trying to get the draw. It felt to me like, you know, the only person I saw really trying to put a shift in was Jadon Sancho. And even him, what he was producing was not good enough.
You sound surprised, though, because hasn't that been Man United's story this year that they've limped over games?
Pete, I was surprised because I don't expect Manchester United to play well, but I expect a fight in a Champions League knockout tie. I expect them to throw everything at the wall.
I slightly disagree, Oscar.
Why?
In the last 30 minutes, that's where I agree with you. But I genuinely believe in the first half, we did everything but score. Like, I think we're generally in control and all that stuff. Yeah.
I'm mainly talking about when you were a goal down and there was time to go and rescue this game. I've seen so many times, like, for example, your performance away at Atlanta when Ronaldo scores that last minute winner. Plenty of times in the Champions League.
Villarreal as well.
Like, you guys played horribly in games, but when it comes to the last 10 minutes, the United way, how it's always been from 99 all the way till now, is just those last 10 minutes at Old Trafford is balls to the wall. You're throwing everything at the opposition.
My issue with that is that, again, you said you clearly ironed it out. 11 minutes of play. Every time something happened, or even when we were close, the ball was stopped. And we're thinking, why are we stopping? And it wasn't like it was like a proper foul or something like that. The referee would just pull it back for no reason. Do you know how many drop balls there were? I think I counted 7 drop balls in the second half for no reason. That's true. When he put on Juan Mata, I said this game is done. I said we are out.
Did he start?
In 20.
No, he brought him on in like the 87th minute. Like, we had no defenders left. We were trying to get the goal.
He threw everything at it. He threw everything at the kitchen sink.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Obviously, I didn't watch the game, so I can only speak from result based, right? So this is where my opinions come from. But the idea that it was almost funny, like Man United beating Spurs was almost like the perfect recipe for Atletico, and even from the first leg. Atletico since then I think they've won every game since in the league, because I know their league form wasn't good, and I think that's probably where the confidence that Man United would actually go through probably comes from, because Atleti haven't been playing like champions, right, or like defending champions anyway. And since the first leg, Atletico have been actually decent in the league, and now it's like, okay, United finally got like a 3-2 win over Tottenham Hotspur. At the end of the day, you're gonna, no matter how you play, if you get 3 points, you're gonna feel good and whatnot. And so it was almost like, if you rock up and you just think you're going to turn up because you're Man United, those kind of teams, it could have been anyone. I mean, I looked at the draw of the draw for the quarterfinal. Looking at those teams, and I was like, to be fair, I thought United would get knocked out by basically all of them, except maybe Benfica. But even then, Benfica is the kind of fixture that you rest on your laurels and they'll pick you off. You catch my drift. So I don't know, like it's just a constant cycle with Man United. It's the like you could copy and paste this surely all season. When Oscar says that they were limping towards the finish line, it's like that. Robin, correct me if I'm wrong. That sounds like you lot have been like this all season.
We have, we generally have. So That's why I'm saying I'm not blaming Atletico. Like when I keep saying this, like they deserve to go through, and it's just hands up to them on what they did because they did their job. They got the goal, sat back, and did what they needed to do to get to the last 8. So that's why I'm not blaming them. But I was just angry at the decision making, and like, you know, when football. We even had this conversation when football should be fair or how close football can be to fairness. That day, I said, "Nah, this is unfair. The way we're going out, this is unfair." And
Oscar,
now we.
Oscar, watching the game, AD watching the game. We're talking Atletico, Man United versus Atletico Madrid. Do you agree with Robin there? Was there quite a bit of unfairness towards Man United in that game? Do you feel like Atleti? You know, there was a bit of luck given to them thrown their way in order for them to go through to knock out.
I can't lie. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Robin came with that angle. To be honest, I didn't see. I saw there was a lot of diving and a lot of time wasting. I can agree with that, but I wouldn't say it was unfair. I think over the 2 legs, Atleti were a better team. They should have beaten you away from home. Yeah. They should have won that game away from home. Man United clawed their way back in. And in this game, I think the thing that shocks me the most is that Manchester United did not score at home. Like, Manchester United did not do enough to go through in this tie. They really didn't. So, yeah, that's
what seems to be the problem with goal scoring. Why can't Man United score goals? Because they create chances, don't they? Am I off?
No, we create chances for days. We create chances for days.
What's the problem then? You've got finishers. Why don't they finish?
Peter, if we had enough time on this podcast, we could go in all day. But honestly,
Robin has been saying that every week. He's been saying that every single week that these guys create chances, and that's why he's not.
But we do not put the ball in the net. I made a sermon on it. Put the ball in the net. So.
And now I saw today I saw today's stories going around Man United again, whereby 4 people are on the short list, and ironically, the top 2 on the short list are the ones that they should. I mean, I saw. Correct me if I'm wrong. I saw Ten Hag, I saw Pochettino, I saw Lopetegui, and then I saw Luis Enrique, and yet the favorite happens to be not Luis Enrique, but your Pochettinos and Ten Hags of this world.
It's not Poch. It's from everything I've seen and from my understanding, it's probably going to be Erik Ten Hag next season.
I don't believe you. We'll see though. We'll see.
But and again, everyone's timeline is different. Like, so from my timeline, everyone's saying Erik Ten Hag, and I prefer him over Poch.
Hey, another defeat for PSG, man. It's looking more and more like
but here's the thing though about PSG. I don't know what they're going to do.
What, the Champions League, you mean?
They lost on the weekend to Monaco. They got
battered. That was hilarious. I was going to bring up in early showers. But yeah, that was hilarious.
Holy what? But what's the score?
3-0.
3-0, bro. They got slapped.
3-0?
3-0. So the PSG man, they said we don't want Messi playing anymore. Messi didn't play. They got slapped 3-0.
Before we leave this game or hit Adrian's thoughts, I do want to read some more comments on the game.
Yeah, Lolo's saying United didn't deserve to win, and I agree with her. I genuinely agree with her. I'm not saying that they deserve to lose. I just said I deserve more of a fighting chance to actually get back in the game, and that's how I felt. I'm not saying Atletico didn't deserve to win. They 100% did.
I expected more from United. What I saw from Atletico, I think somebody mentioned it in the comments earlier. Tenson, he says, Robin, Atletico always play like this. Man United should know better. I did expect,
and I'm not disagreeing.
Going a goal down to Simeone away at home.
It's long. It's very long. It's very long.
Atleti did what Atleti did, and I feel like the time wasted.
I've said this already. Atletico did what they did, and you can't blame them on that. My argument is not against Atleti. It's not against Atleti at all.
Were they very defensive after the goal, Atletico? Were they?
Oh yeah. So 11 at the back. 11 at the.
They sat back and they looked to counter, but they never really did counter. It was all Man United just having the ball and not doing enough with it, I think. So
why is it Diego Simeone on this short list?
He's not.
I don't think it's. I don't think he's on the short list. It's because how many times has he won the league? I think like twice in like 8 years. And I think because he plays the exact same way, imagine he plays the exact same way and all that stuff. I don't think it'll just work exactly as it would.
United needs something different. What you've done for the last 8 years has been a farce. You need to start again. So,
I agree with you. That's why I'm saying I believe it's Erik ten Hag, and I think, and I was telling this Ernest when I was in London. I said I think next United team is going to be a very stupid young team. I think that's what's just going to happen, and it's going to be a while before we can even challenge again. But I'm interested to see what's next, because the people that need to leave in the summer, it's going to be high. I've accepted that it needs another reset. Yes, for the 5th time we've said this already, but it is another reset coming, and I just want to see what happens. I'm not looking for champions next year. I'm not looking for contention. I just want to see what happens, and then we go from there and start again, because that's what we can do. That's the only thing we can do. We've hit rock bottom, and then go again.
Tough moment for United, man. It's a very tough moment. There's a couple of comments about a certain player's performance in the game. Taha says, give my boy Felix his flowers. Bostakendo says, Oscar, you didn't say Felix would have an impact on the game. Hang your head in shame. He also says, Oscar, answer for your Ras Clark crimes. Apologize to me and Peter about João Felix.
Tell them, listen.
I don't think he did amazing in the second half, though. That's my opinion.
Here's what I say.
What did João Felix do in the entire game?
Oscar, did João Felix not set up the goal for? By the way,
is that what we're doing now? Set up the goal.
Well, you can't say he didn't have an impact. That's what was made.
Well, come on, man. João Felix made Manchester United out of this competition.
Listen, he scored the goal, didn't he, at Letty? He set up the goal at Old Trafford. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Set up the goal.
He had a part to play in the goal, for goodness sake. Okay, what was he?
A little flick. And then the ball was crossed in, and we had a header.
Oscar, listen, João Felix is a monster. Okay, whether you want to agree with it or not, that's what the man them are saying. Taha and Boslak have both said, "Give man his flowers." Yeah.
Look, I'll give him his flowers for a fantastic header in the first leg. But you lot told me João Felix is going to knock Manchester United out, and I said, "Look,
Oscar, he was decisive though. Goal and was decisive.
Goal and a pre-assist.
Goal and what?
And a pre-assist. I saw the flick. I saw his little flick. I saw him
João Felix, great baller. I need to see a bit more in the Champions League. If he knocks out City, I'll give him his credit. Yeah, how about that?
This is the thing. Like, I'm not even here going to wait for you lot to apologize for him, because he will speak for himself. Like, João Felix's football will come over the years. We're going to look at this guy and be like, yeah, someone in the Premier League is buying that kid.
Oh, look at this guy. Look at Taha. Oh, without Felix, it's 1-0 United on aggregate. No, it's not.
Is it not, though? Because he scored in the first leg. I mean, United win 1-0, don't they?
What's like Endo says, João was influential. He was at the heart of everything good that Atleti did. He was working hard defensively and holding out the ball. I thought Lodi was really, really good. I
heard Griezmann was like one of the man of the matches for Atleti. What I heard.
Right. Wait, Lola says Oscar's doing the most to discredit Felix. He did what attackers do under that anti-football done.
Thank you. Look at the season. Look at the season. Oscar, that's a phenomenal point. That's a phenomenal
I don't know if you want to score a hat trick or 12 goals.
Restart my camera and I'll be right back.
This guy told me Felix was going to knock Man United out.
He was decisive. Like, what more do you want? If it wasn't for his impacts,
United not go through. Yeah, out of the Champions League. Oscar, we're not saying he's the only one. By the way, he's not the only one.
I have no beef with Felix. I just think it's not like
you were reluctant last week, yeah, and then we've got the proof in the pudding, and we're still not giving them the props.
Pete, bearing in mind what I said last week, yeah, was off the back of him scoring in the first leg anyway. So this is not me saying Felix is a trash player. Like, I know he can affect games. I just didn't think he'd be the decisive guy to knock Manchester United out and turn up in that moment. And
who got the man of the match in general? Just in general, who got it?
I don't know. Okay. It was an athletic player. It probably wasn't Felix though. But anyway, big up him, innit? Big up him. They're man in the next round. I hope they do well. I hope they knock out Man City. Boss like Endo says, Oscar's too prideful. Just take the L. I don't think I could take an L for this. A pre-assist is what we're doing.
Oscar, was it a good pre-assist though?
It was a nice little flick.
Oscar, he doesn't do that flick, and that chance is not there.
Right,
it makes the chance.
Alright, cool. When Cho starts doing flicks, man, watch me.
Look at the way that the defender was. What was it? Teles.
Peter. We need to dispel this myth of Callum Hudson frigging Odoi. We speak more about him on this podcast the minutes he's got under his belt. What do you mean?
Thank you very much.
I've had enough. Why mention him?
That's my star boy. Why are you talking about him?
You might as well talk about Xavier Simmons. You might as well talk about, I don't know. I don't know whatever reserve kids you've got.
Now, Oscar, to be fair, this Callum Hudson-Odoi trade, it's not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you.
It's looking great for me.
How is it looking great? I'm
worried.
Or Bell Sunsoup.
He's letting you down.
It's actually Sunset Bell. He's not let me down once. What are you talking about?
How many goals has he got for Chelsea?
Oh, I don't know.
Saka's got more goals this year than what scored in his whole Premier League career. We could compare. Yeah, we could compare. They're comparable.
I beg you. Why are people talking about Cho? Like, come on.
You mentioned him.
Do you know why I said Cho? I said because when Cho does flicks like João Felix did, none of you care about flicks. That's what I'm saying. We don't care about flicks.
No, Oscar.
I don't care about him.
Oscar, the goal that Atleti scored at Old Trafford. Let's not do this, okay? João Felix's move creates the actual chance because it was kind of going nowhere. And then he set something up, and then whoever it was, the right back crossed it or the right winger. And then, by the way, Man United conceding headers to these short men.
Bro. Lodi at the back post.
With their 6'8" centre halves. And yet, DB guys are winning headers.
By the way, guys, my stance on Man United is this.
Yes.
The referee was poor. The referee was a disgrace. That's absolutely fine. But Manchester United in 2022 are bringing in Juan Mata to rescue things. Juan Mata, he's been haggard for the past, 4 or 5 seasons? I might be being generous there. They started. Anthony Elanga started. Correct me if I'm wrong. Listen, it's an absolute disgrace. They've pumped £1 billion into that side, and that's what they have to show for it. That's where we should start when we ask ourselves why did Man United go out. Friggin' Scott McTominay plays in the midfield. You know, Scott McTominay turns 27 next year.
Yeah,
he's not a kid. He's not a kid. He's not a youngster. He's not a hot prospect.
You're a sicko.
Listen, he turns 27 next year. I didn't lie. I remember when I used to say the same things about Martial. I used to be like, Martial turns 26 next year. All of a sudden, here he is. But guys, look.
You just speak about Martial as well.
The fact of the matter is this, guys. We know what Atletico Madrid are all about. Atletico Madrid, they've been poor this season. Jan Oblak has been surprisingly, I don't know how this has happened. He's performing at one of the worst rates in the top 5 leagues. This team is disheveled. It's not what it used to be 2-3 years ago. So I don't understand how Man United can't knock these guys out. He had a hot start, and during that hot start, we're all thinking to ourselves, here we go. It's going to swing here. It's going to swing. Because United ain't got no killers.
When you say the hot start, is that when Ronaldo was doing kick-ups?
No, like they were creating chances. I think there was 1 or 2 they perhaps should have put away.
The question is though, ain't Manchester United the Atletico of the Premier League? You know what you just described as what Atletico are, whereby they're the disheveled team. You know what you're gonna get. Blah blah.
I guess that, but we're not anti-football. That's the only thing I would say.
I don't know,
in terms of your expectations and what you lot achieve. Okay, Atletico. By the way, they won the league last year. What am I talking about, right? But as in the Atletico, the Atletico Madrid that Adrian was referring to, the Diego Costa winning Atletico side, compared that to now, because that Atletico side was up there with the best. It got to, I think, 2 Champions League finals in 3 or 4 years. So when Adrian's talking about they won the league that year as well, convincingly as well. So at a canter, right? So it's a bit like that. Atletico is not this one, obviously. And the reason probably why they won the league last year,
I would say I agree with what you call it, Adrian's point about Oblak, but I also say he had probably the game of the night because the saves he was making, some of them were insane. I was like, no, this is clearly 1-0, and somehow, he was really, really good. So I think you're being a bit too harsh on Oblak, Adrian. That's just my opinion.
No. Statistically, he's one of the worst keepers in the world.
In fairness to Adrian, I heard that stat as well. I heard that stat. He's the worst goalkeeper in the top 5 leagues in terms of saving rate this season, which is it's a horror show. What he was going through this year.
Don't get me wrong, it's conflated because in my opinion, he is like ability-wise probably the best in the world. But listen, Man United need a sledgehammer. There's so much. You've spent $1 billion. Do you know what £1 billion is? Look at how Man City have spent that $1 billion compared to how United have spent that $1 billion. You need to. I'll be honest, you don't even need new players. All you need to do is get rid.
We don't need new players.
No. Don't give up.
No, Man United's first mission is to get rid. Get rid.
Nemanja Matic's contract expires next year. You still got Mata. You still got Phil Jones. You still got Luke Shaw. I guess let me throw him in there. Lee Grant has still got a gig. You've got freaking Tom Heaton. Tom Heaton's a goalkeeper at Manchester United. It's an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess. Eric Bailly still plays. Well, he's still there, but he doesn't play. Then you still got people like Twanzebe still there. Bro, like, you need a sledgehammer. You need to... Lingard. Lingard's on 100 freaking grand a week. Get rid. Just get rid.
And that's what I was saying earlier.
It's like Arsenal 2 years ago.
The amount of people that are leaving this season is very high. Like, a lot of contracts ends this season and the next. So that's why I'm like, okay, I agree with you completely, Adrian, that we need to actually destroy and start again. And I was saying this again, I think next season's team, depending on who comes in, and in my personal opinion, I think it is Ten Hag. I was saying, I think it's just going to be a young team. I don't know who's going to be in it, but I just think just the kids have to come up and do this again, because the people that are there now are either past it or just not doing it. And we need a complete reset of the whole team. And I've been saying this for the last few weeks now, so I feel like I'm on a broken scale. So I was happy this weekend. I'm not seeing Man United and all that stuff. I was enjoying the weekend. Saw the F1. F1, by the way. Great race. So we'll get onto that soon. But
who was at the F1?
Yeah, what Man United player was at the F1?
I don't know. I didn't care. Could not care less.
Neville's
you wanted to, Gary Neville? He's annoying me. I don't want to talk about him.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Pete, did you not hear it?
No, I did, and I agree with him.
You agree with Gary Neville?
It's funny because I agree with him. This is interesting.
Oh, Peter, come on.
Interesting. Okay.
Also, Peter. So Ralph Ragnick can't go watch cricket in Barbados, but Ryan Giggs can have his way with his brother's missus, and that's all right. Like, the thing that grinds my gears about these ex-pros, yeah, they like to make these comparisons about how much the players of today don't care. Like Tony Adams was on playing half cut every other week. I don't get it. I don't get it.
No. Here's my thing. Before you guys go on, here's my thing with Gary Neville's comments. Right, I won't say I agree 100% all the way. I think there's about 70% I do agree with. Number one, those old school players that were going out and whatever else. Here's the thing. I think people like those Man United teams, for example, in the 90s, right? Even Roy Keane explained it in one interview recently. They used to get hammered all the time. They used to go out all the time, blah, blah. They were winning titles, right? When you're not winning games, when you're not winning trophies, the last thing I want to see is you anywhere. I remember seeing one year when Fabregas was with his granddad at Grand Prix, funny enough, right? And I was thinking, what? We've got Fulham on Saturday. What are you doing in Barcelona? I don't give a damn if you go to your granddad.
We're not playing for 3 weeks, Peter.
I don't care. Your team is a shower of crap, and it needs to stay low key. It just needs to stay low key. What I'm saying is, go have your fun. Don't get caught on camera. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's 2022.
It's 2022.
Then stay at home. Then stay at home.
What? They should go to Dubai and Balaclava.
Listen, bro. On a real, yeah. Like the last thing I want to see. Obviously, I'm not saying Rashford's not doing anything well. I'm not gonna say Rashford's doing anything bad. Because guess what? He could be out there. Where was he? In Dubai for a fight, wasn't he? He went to watch a fight or whatever. Like everyone is scattered everywhere. And then what? And for all we know, Rashford's probably doing a great gym session in Dubai. For all we know, right? But the last thing I need when I'm where I am right now, especially with what happened with Rashford and those fans was it last week? The last thing I need to be doing is getting my head anywhere near some sort of, anywhere where somebody could get some coverage on me, and then because you're going to get all of this. It's not something that you want to see. You know what I'm saying? I will say that Gary Neville was a bit off in terms of like, you know, the old school players weren't doing it. I think they were doing it, but it's
100%.
it was the 90s. It was the 90s and the 80s, right? Instead, they were all getting like, what's his name? Adrian just said Adams was getting half cut. He was winning the league getting half cut. He won the double half cut. He was Arsenal and England captain half cut. You catch my drift? So, like, yes, I understand. Like, people have lives, they have their own separate lives. Totally understand that. And I'm not anti going somewhere or going wherever. I don't want to see you anywhere.
No, but Peter,
do it privately.
Best said he spent his money on women, fast cars, and booze. The rest of it he wasted. And this is apparently a great almighty Manchester United legend. Yeah. I think this whole idea of footballers having lives and people getting upset about it is
the man. Them are human. Let them be human.
No, they are. I'm not saying they can't go out there and enjoy themselves. They should. But what I'm saying is that, look, the thing is, here's the thing as well, guys. The players know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It's not like they've gone out there knowing that no one's going to get Tory. What the hell? Green Party all day long. What's it called? Yeah, no, like, you know, these players know that if when they get caught on camera doing this or whatever, or just going out just to support my guy in this fight or whatever, after the performance I put in the midweek, look at we're not here even dissing any of the ultras of PSG or the ultras of like Italian football clubs. When their teams don't play well, these men go to their house. Okay, whereas with this one here, we're just saying, look, because nobody's condemning those actions. We don't agree with it, but nobody condemns it. But everyone's quick with when old school players say something.
I'm going to be brutally honest. Yeah, this is complete garbage. It's complete nonsensical
hogwash.
Yeah, of course,
that's your opinion. Yeah, that's your opinion.
I think it's garbage. I think it's garbage.
Yeah,
I think
your opinion.
I'm giving my opinion. No, I'm saying like, how on earth can you like control or tell players where they should be or where they shouldn't be after a performance based on the performance? Like, that's ridiculous. Since when are you at a work establishment and you're doing poor at work, and that means you can't go to the football after work, or you can't go to the boxing, or you can't go to the Formula One? These players are contracted to train and to play for Manchester United. If they have a bad day, like most football players do, they're not going to cancel their plans and stay at home and hide away. He said,
but you can't get upset then when people have a problem with it. That's what my point is. My point isn't that you can't go out and do stuff and that you should be on a leash. Hey, you don't want to be caught on camera doing anything. I'm saying when people have a go at you, what is this thing of like, oh, why are you having a go at me for? Because I've gone to see the boxing. Because do you know why? Because you should be in England. You should be in the England squad, by the way, with the Ramsdales and Ben Whites of this world, and not in Dubai. Because the only reason why you're able to be in Dubai is because you didn't make the squad, because your performances haven't been good enough. So we can
talk about that squad. We can talk about that squad, and that's a whole different story.
No, but Peter, that's a good point.
People that were selected.
But you catch my drift, though.
But Peter, the point is, the rebuttal was this. This is the same Marcus Rashford who can't fly to Dubai. He was playing football for Manchester United with a broken back, who played with a bone that was floating in his foot, who then went to a Euros tournament. He's been devoid of form, devoid of confidence. He's clearly been poor. He clearly needs a rest and a break. Why can't he have a rest and a break? Why can't he?
I didn't say he can't, bro. I didn't say he can't.
No. Why should it be a problem? Why should it be to the ire of Gary Neville?
Because Gary Neville was a footballer himself. He knows what could and couldn't run when it was his turn, when he was the player. And maybe he's envious of the likes of Rashford, because you wouldn't find him anywhere across the country. You might find him down the local boozer in Manchester. That would probably the max that would happen.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is that he was winning. Like I said to you, if you're winning and you're going around doing whatever, no one gives a damn because you're winning.
Okay.
Like Eric Cantona, if you think about it, as a human being, there are very questionable things about him, but nobody cared. Why? Because he was an unbelievable footballer. And so, if you know the Grealishes and Kyle Walkers of this world, they get lambasted when they've like done a punch up at a club, right? Not just going to a club, but they've got into some trouble. But at the end of the day, guess what? That stuff gets squashed very quickly. The difference between Man United's treatment and, say, City's treatment, one of them is winning a lot. The other one isn't winning anything. So, like, it's easy for fans to get on the backs of Rashford and the like, because you're not even performing for my team. Like, I'm just angry with everything you do now.
But Pete,
until you start winning games.
Don't you think these fans are being a little bit entitled? Like, don't you think it's just a bit extreme for you to?
100% tired.
No. Do you know what? Actually, you know what's funny? I will never ever defend a Man United fan. Believe me, not by any stretch of the imagination. When you say are they entitled? I'm giving Man United because it's a perspective conversation here. Because when you're a Man United fan who've paid your money and you've watched your club spend what Adrian has mentioned, £1 billion or whatever, and you look at what Man United have provided as a product and a service to its customers, in quotation marks, they have every right to be absolutely livid because the way that football club is being run, no Manchester United fan should be sitting here taking that in. And every Man United fan has every right to be angry and annoyed by that. So when you said, if you ask me the question, are they coming across entitled? Oh my God, are you sure you want to go down that road? Because Man United fans have done everything they can for that football club. And what they're getting as a return, I'm talking about football fans as a whole, by the way. But on Man United, that's not the fan base you want to go against when it comes to that kind of thing.
Well, you're talking about something like I have no issue with Man United fans being annoyed at their players' performance on the football pitch. That's fine. However, using that performance to say I better not see you at the Formula One on the weekend is complete. It's insane. It's insane.
The question being,
if I'm not contracted to be at training or to be at a game, then I can do whatever the hell I like with my free time. And Gary Neville or any of these guys should not be policing where these players go. And by the way, we live in the media generation in which everything is on social media. Harry Maguire went to his father's birthday dinner and people took photos of him and said, why is he out for dinner when he just lost the game? What kind of nonsense?
No, some of them is ridiculous. But listen, in life and in general, everything has a point, and then people take it beyond that point, right? I'm not speaking for those that take it too far, but there is points being made here. There is a reason. Like if it's your dad's birthday, it's your dad's birthday dinner. No one's batting an eyelid to that. But if I am watching my players who are garbage, and by the way, like don't get it twisted. I'm in the camp of both the player and the team and the fans here, whereby when Rashford spoke out at that fan that came, started sort of giving him stick, both should take it and both should move on. You know my stance on this. It's not a case of, you're not allowed to do that, you shouldn't do this. I'm saying if you're going to give it, you better accept it as much as you give it, and then we move on. But so if somebody gets annoyed about you going to Dubai or wherever it may be, okay, you're a footballer. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get the stick because you know what the bottom line is, Oscar? Underneath it all, they've been garbage. If they were good, no one is talking about where they are. No one cares about what country they've been in, where destination they're. The bottom line is this. It all comes down to if you play. The thing is, when you're playing bad, when you sometimes get an awful performance, all the players are coming back to training the next day. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the next day you lot are coming into training because that was a shoddy performance. I bet Lampard better be still training now with Everton, as far as I'm concerned, because their performances are so shoddy. It's like we need to see something extra. We need to see something more. But if they were winning games, if they were winning trophies, we would not be having this conversation. And Rashford and the like, and whoever other players there may be, would still be on these different trips wherever they're gone.
Because for me, right, if you're a football fan, you want things to happen for the betterment of your club, right? For the betterment of your team. Yeah. What that means is the betterment of your players. Yeah. For me, I see no point in a player sitting down in a dark room somewhere, watching tape, licking their wounds. I'd much rather them, like what normal human beings do, relax, chill out, recharge, and then come back to work fresh. Like there was one season where West Brom, I think it was Sam Allardyce, he cancelled their Christmas party. That still went down. Like sometimes in life, like you need something to look forward to. You need to take your mind off things. Like we're human beings, like this whole idea, you're a professional footballer, you can't have fun. You're a professional footballer, you can't have a Christmas party. You're a professional footballer, you can't even smile. Like it's preposterous. Like especially when we know what the footballers of the 80s and the 90s were getting up to. Noughties.
That was one of the things that annoyed me the most. He was talking about, I remember a time when, and it's like, yeah, but like back in your day, it was a completely different era. Like it's not the same thing. And some of those things weren't healthy. Some of the things that were going on back in the day weren't healthy practices. Just because it happened in the 90s doesn't mean it should happen now. Lola says this whole stuff where you can only have a life when you win it was a bag of nonsense. And to be honest, I agree. C1 saying Peter backing Netherlands characters.
See, that's the problem with this comment. The problem with that comment is that's how people see things. Somebody has an opinion, and it's about this versus that. No, we're talking about a specific situation here, whereby a lot of people will go against the decision making because so and so said it, and it's like, well, look, Gary Neville said a lot of stuff that was a bit fluffy. That's why I said I agree with like 70% of it. Like you said about the 90s, them men were on the lash, but they were winning, and there was no social media. Those are two separate things. So it's not a case of. If I say
not everyone was winning though. Only one team won the season.
But the three teams that were culpable of this: Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal. All three of those teams.
Liverpool didn't win the league for 30 years. So
in the 80s, it was rife with Liverpool.
The Spice Boys didn't win nothing.
It's not just.
All they had was a white suit to show for it.
Listen. In the 80s, what's it called? In the 80s, Liverpool were rife in this. They were known for doing this as well. The community of street drinkers was one of your nicknames.
So it was a football thing, though. It was a football thing. I
know that. No, I know that. But when you hear about what did I say? I said, look, if an Aston Villa fan sees the Villa lot going out on the lash in the 70s, in the what's it called, in the noughties, in the 90s, and they're not winning anything. You can't get mad if the fans are pissed at you doing that.
No, but if you're saying that they're going out on the lash and getting drunk and it's affecting their performance in games, I understand what you're talking about. But these guys are going to the Formula One to sit down and watch boxing, bro. They're not flipping.
Oscar, this is a waste of a debate. Oscar, say that again.
What are you even talking about?
What?
Like I said, if the fans have their opinion. The fans have their opinions. If they're going to be upset with Marcus Rashford because he's been talking about stinking, he's been awful all season, and they're annoyed that he's at wherever venue he's at, I ain't got a problem with that. Because if he starts winning games, no one gives a damn where he is, and he won't have a problem with those fans either. You catch my drift? Oh, the United fans are the greatest fans in the world. That's what it will be. So it's all relative. It's all perspective based. Nobody's feeling permanent feelings about this situation. That's why it's a nonsense. Because next week or next year, when they're winning, then it's like brilliant.
I'm trying to share my screen, but it's not letting me share my screen, so I just have to put the comments on it. This is what Gary Neville said verbatim. He said, "I remember a time when United players, managers, executives wouldn't be seen in their local Italian after a draw at home, let alone getting knocked out of Europe. This last week we've seen a global. Sorry, it's cut out." This last week, we've seen a global tour of F1, concerts, cricket, and UFC events. This lot are tone deaf.
Oscar, let me ask you a question. What is your problem with this comment? What is everybody's problem? Why do people get so hyped about this comment? A player who used to play for Man United, who lived that. So he's saying something that he lived and said that, you know what, you would never be seen in the local, never mind around the world. Why do people get so upset with his comment? That doesn't make sense to me.
Because the last point of his comment, he says, these lot are tone deaf.
Yes,
they're tone deaf, getting on with their lives after a loss.
His opinion. I totally understand him because he's an ex-player. This is a guy who's coming from the point of I used to play the game, and this is what was happening in my day when I played for Manchester United. And I'm seeing the same Manchester United doing other things. People just get, do you know what, Oscar? I've learned something. People get upset and irate and just want to rant about anything all the time. That's all they want to do. This is what they want to do.
It's true.
No, I agree with that.
Because Adrian, help me out
about everything.
Robin, help me out here. What was actually wrong? Hang on 1 second. Tell me word for word. What was wrong with that comment?
What was wrong with that comment is that the tone deaf. It's like these tone deaf doing what? Because for facts, they lost. We got it. They're over it. They're not playing again for 3 weeks. They need to recharge. They're allowed to be a human being and actually go do that thing. That's the issue here.
It doesn't make you less human if you don't go to the Grand Prix. Let's not do this. This is what I'm talking about. Let's not make it absolute. It doesn't make you less human for not going to the Grand Prix. Okay?
If you want to, I'm saying if they go to the Grand Prix, then they go to the Grand Prix.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, so you don't understand why Gary Neville called it tone deaf?
No,
but Peter, by that metric, people call celebrities posting a photo of their house tone deaf, and they said, "Well, there's homeless people." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. Everybody has
stupid.
It's stupid. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, people get irate about that comment, And it's he's actually not said anything wrong there.
But Pete, here's the thing. Here's the way I've looked at what you're saying. You're saying is that Gary Neville said his opinion, and everyone wants to be mad at something, so they've got mad at that comment. But Gary Neville's comment is the one that's complaining in the first place. People are just complaining back. So
he's a fan complaining about his football club, like most fans do.
But the same way, Man United fans are complaining about what Gary Neville's saying because he's a legend. And
it's a circle. This is what I'm saying. It's a cycle. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's nonsense because at the end of the day,
you can't get mad at the fans for doing that.
I said is nobody can get mad when you're not winning football matches and they're not happy with what you're doing. How are we getting mad at that? Because if you're winning the games, nobody is mad about what you're doing. If Gary Neville's a player and he says, look, that would never run at our time, and this is coming from a serial winner at Manchester United, take note of that. Because what's happened since he's not been there is that the Man United haven't won a lot, right? Yeah. And there's a lot of there's not even. I don't want to go down this road of oh, you know what, they're ill-disciplined and blah blah. Because God knows what they do. Like I said, Rashford could be having a great training session out there for all we know. But it's ironic that he brings up that moment and he brings up that point when he was a winner at Manchester United and what he's seen in the past week when his football club has gone out of the Champions League. This is a Man United side who at the start of the season we're looking at fighting for the title. They are so far away from that. I don't know how many points you are away from the title, but it's so far. The last thing we need to be seeing is any of you lot, acting as if you don't care. Because do you know what's so funny, Oscar? Arsenal, yeah. Do you know what's so funny? Arsenal fans, everybody is in unison. When Arsenal fans see certain players going out in their fancy new cars, they always blame the players for not caring whenever we used to lose games in the 2010s and 13s and 16s and whatever. And everybody said it. Everybody was like, look at them. They don't even care that they lost. That's the big problem that they're having. That's just a fan's perspective. It's a fan's opinion. And then the next player who played the game and knew that, look, this doesn't run in my time. That's what he's doing, is expressing himself. Why is he ranting, but then the fans are not? Or the fans are and he's not running? Does that make sense?
I'm not saying one or the other. I'm saying both are just expressing their opinions. And I'm saying I agree with one opinion, I don't agree with the other.
No, you called it garbage. And I just thought okay, well then it's not a dictatorship. Just because you don't agree with the opinion, you don't have to call it garbage. You can just say
I think the opinion that a football player who's got planned tickets to go and watch the F1 should not go when he loses. Oh, I've lost now, so I'm not going to the F1.
Yeah, I like how you think he planned this like a month in advance.
Right. We're going around in circles.
Yeah, let's move on.
And we do need to move on. But however, do you want to get the comments? Get the comments because it's quite a lot.
Let me get the last few comments in because people are talking. Taha says football shouldn't stop after an L. People have lives. Tenzin says, Oscar, most of PL players get 1-2 month break. They can enjoy as much as they want during that time. Are you serious?
I hear that. Tenzin.
What break have they had? These guys just come back from a Euros and then a tournament. And come on, man, break. Lola says Neville got exposed. They didn't get seen in the local, but they were still moving mad. The difference is social media wasn't a thing. Gary had no points made. Boss says, I agree. Footballers get too much leeway. They're getting paid big bucks to do a job. They deserve criticism if they're not producing. However, getting onto them for going out is a bit OTT. Yeah, man, that's how I feel. Last one, I'm going to get Pros Only TV in here. Shout out Pros Only TV. I can't lie, Gary Neville lost credibility after spudding that you in a bally when fans stormed the O2 Glazer protest. Well, did he spud it? He spud someone?
He did, yeah. He did. Yeah, he did still.
Yeah, man. We spun the block on that one for a bit too long, but it is what it is, man. Gary Neville is always going to find a way to make his name heard on this podcast. We're always complaining about him.
Oh yeah. Shall we move on to the derby that happened?
Yeah. Wait, Pete, where to next? The derby? What derby?
London derby. Tottenham versus West Ham.
What's that? Tottenham West Ham.
Oh, well, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, Tottenham 3-1 winners against West Ham after West Ham's triumph against Sevilla. It seems like the Thursday, Sunday turnaround was a bit too much. Because I think they played 120 minutes. Is that correct, West Ham, in midweek?
They did. Yeah, extra time.
Yeah, so it looks
scenes at the London Stadium. Absolute scenes.
Absolute scenes. So, yeah, Spurs obviously stamping their mark. again, you know, they're not out of this. You know, we at the end of the day, they've still got a good. I say good side. They've got a good manager. Let me put it that way. And they've got 2 top quality, or 3 even now, top quality forwards as well. So they're always going to be in the mix there. You know, it's basically a routine victory, if you ask me. I don't know if there's anything else regarding these 2. I mean, we would have liked to have had a draw and maybe a 22-match brawl, but you know, Spurs got the win.
Yeah, I think West Ham were extremely tired. They had a big game on Thursday, which they poured all their energy into. And then Spurs, I think, took advantage of that. They came out very, very strong in the first half an hour, scored super early, and they were on top. And even in the second half was probably the biggest indicator of how tired West Ham was. This game was 2-1 for a long, long time. And Spurs looked like the only team that were good trying to score a third. It looked like West Ham weren't even trying to score the equaliser. Like it was really just a matter of time before Spurs won it, and then they got the third goal. So I think it was a big moment of fatigue for West Ham. They're struggling for not having a striker and all of that. But the whole Tottenham fans giving Zuma stick for the cat thing was kind of funny still.
What did Tottenham fans do?
They had like inflatable cats in the ground.
That was brilliant.
That was funny. That was very funny.
That's how you should do things, not take away a man's frigging livelihood. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Just give him the stick. You're giving the stick he deserves.
For absolute fast.
Did anyone see what Son was up to?
What did Son do?
Kurt Zuma like kicked the ball at him. I think Tottenham had a free kick. Tottenham won a free kick. Kurt Zuma's given him the ball. He's kicked it at him. It hits the back of Son's leg, and Son obviously throws himself to the floor like he's been shot.
I told you guys, Son and Sadio Mane are nasty. I don't know why they've had nice guy reputations for so long.
Yeah, man. It wasn't nice. Taha says, did you see Son's dive when Zuma rolled the ball at him? Yeah, it was just a bit.
Was he just taking the mick out of the whole cat thing, or was he trying to feign injury?
I think he was trying to get a free kick. I don't know. He would get a free kick. I don't know what he's trying to do.
He's trying to get him a card, isn't
Trying to get him sent off or something. You know when someone you know like the Rivaldo World Cup 2002.
That's exactly what it was.
Kind of like that, man. The ball rolled it, touched the back of his foot. Son just throws himself to the floor like he got shot.
Dare I say this was even more of a disgrace.
Yeah, it was a bit sad. It was a bit sad.
One of the worst things ever, that Rivaldo thing. Unbelievable.
Conversation about some Tottenham players. Tenzin says that Bentancur guy is very good. I thought he was trash, but he knows how to defend and good ball handling. I thought he was all right yesterday, man. I was very critical of his performance.
With him, I just haven't seen enough to him to make an opinion. But from what I've seen, yeah, pretty decent.
Come on, man, Mr. Serie A. We not watching Juve matches? Are we just watching Inter only?
He didn't play for that.
He's been at Inter for a while, though. He's been there for a little bit. He's a great player. I really, really like him, man. I enjoy it. I enjoy watching him play, to be fair.
Bostak Endo says Kane, best passer in the Prem, best player in the Prem. Argue with yourself. Lola says he's neither of those things.
Here's the thing, yeah. If you just decide when you want to turn it on, I've lost all respect for you anyway. You're not a human being. You're not a man anyway. Because you can't, like, what we've watched Kane do this season is a disgrace.
Yeah,
it's a disgrace.
Down
because he's actually just turns it on when he feels like it. And even in this season, there's times when he's turned it on, and he turned it off. And I remember my red flag. I mean, the red flag was so big it could cover the whole stadium. That when he had that performance at Man City, I just said, "Nah, we're done here." I was annoyed. I was annoyed that they won, but I was so disappointed. Like, because the following, who did they go out to the following week? Was it Borough? Did they play Borough literally next and went out?
Yeah, they lost to Borough. They lost to Burnley.
Someone else was Burnley.
Disgrace. He's a disgrace. He's an absolute disgrace.
He refused to come to report back. He was AWOL.
Look, I think
I've completely forgotten about that.
I think that's
Harry Kane is a nasty piece of work.
I think the way he acted in the summer, the interview, and not going to training, I think all of that is disgraceful. However, when it comes to performances of players, I think it goes in spurts. There's many reasons as to why a player doesn't play well, and I don't think you can. I wouldn't call him a disgrace for poor performances. I think we've seen so many talented players go through spells where it's just not working for them, and they come back into it.
You're so light on him. You're too light on him. In the 2021 season, in terms of the first half of this season, he probably had one good performance in 2021. He's probably had about 2 to 3 good performances in
Got Nuno sacked.
It's a Oscar. It's a joke.
But Peter, we've also seen Aubameyang have a shocking start to the season, and now he's back scoring.
He never downed tools, did he?
But
he never. Wait there. Don't ever compare Aubameyang and Kane in this situation. Because one of them was a disgrace, and the other one was actually Arsenal's top goal scorer for a little while, and then went to Barcelona.
Explain to me, like, because what I'm saying is, like, yes, Kane's performances were shocking at the beginning of the season, but I'm not going to say you're a disgrace.
Not just the beginning. We're more than halfway of the season. He was shocking.
But you know what I mean.
We've done 2/3 of the season in which a third he was awful. Not a quarter, not the first half, not the early part.
Yeah,
but a big amount of it.
I think what you guys are saying, you guys are almost acting as though like, oh, he did it on purpose because he
correct. That's exactly what I'm saying.
No, but guys, if you remember, Kane didn't play well in the Euros either. Like, he was really poor from then. I don't think this was necessarily just a mental Tottenham thing. I think there's a lot of facts why certain players
you've let him off. You've definitely let him off, because unless you got to go back and watch his performances for Spurs this season, you've let him off lightly.
I agree with both points, because there are some games, and we can't let like Aubameyang had clear opportunities to put the ball in the net, and then we were sitting here on this podcast saying, "Now, Aubameyang, what is going on? Could it be down tools?" I don't know. I'm not saying no, and I'm not saying yes, but it wasn't like this is the Aubameyang we'll see at Barcelona. Like,
just to be clear, that's always my stance on this. I don't think Aubameyang down tools either. I don't think Kane down tools. I just think there's certain circumstances in which a top player is not playing to the top level, and that could be because of system, it could be because of manager, it could be because of home, it could be because of many things. And I'm not going to call a player a disgrace because their form goes down. I'm never going to.
If you don't believe that Kane down tools for Tottenham Hotspur, fine. We strongly disagree.
Yeah, that's fair.
He is a bloody disgrace.
Oscar,
if he was a black player, no word of a lie, if he was a black player, he would be getting rinse FM right now. But because he's the England, is he the England captain? He's the England captain. Exactly. And you can't touch him. You can't say anything bad about Harry Kane. Oh no, we can't say nothing like that. Even when Neville said, "Oh, he's a good guy," I don't know why he would have gone. Something else.
Remember, Neville said there's more to the story.
Listen, I cannot accept that Kane downed tools. He didn't turn up first of all. He was AWOL first of all, and then when he came, they were with 10 men. What was it, Robin, that said when you start Maguire, you start with 10 men? It's exactly what Tottenham have been doing for the first half of the season.
Also, Oscar, look at it like this, right? He clearly wanted to go to Manchester City. His behavior to try and get that move was an absolute disgrace.
Agreed.
He's throwing his toys out of the pram. He was saying weird stuff in the media. His brother, who's apparently his agent, got really, really drunk at a wedding and started saying stuff to a reporter from The Sun. Yeah? He then refused to come back to start preseason training.
Disgrace.
He gives us poor performances, and you mean to tell me it's not linked? He got down tools, Oscar. He down tools.
He was so downing tools.
I don't know what more. I don't know if you wanted to do William Gallas to score on goals deliberately.
I genuinely don't think players go into a game and say, you know what, I'm just not going to try today. I'm just going to get, and that's just my stance.
You go through the motions. There's an extra level. There's an extra 10-20%.
It's always been my stance. It's always been my stance. Like when I see a player like Havertz playing really well, then his form just drops off a cliff. I don't go, oh, he's down tools. You
can drop off a cliff, and that's fine. It's how you dropped off the cliff. Some people do it. Yeah, I can't agree with you, Oscar, this one. I can't. I get your feeling. I get it.
This has always been my. I'm consistent with this completely. I had the same feeling when Chelsea had that off season in 2016 when Costa was terrible, Hazard was terrible, Fabregas weren't himself. All these players. I never said these players down tools. I never looked at them and gone, "Oh, you're not trying as hard as you should be."
Oscar, when in your opinion could a player down tools? Like what would it take? Like what more?
I'd never go to that as a reason. I don't think players just stop trying.
Okay, so do you think? So do you think from the start of the season till, let's say, Nuno got sacked, Conte come in, do you think in that period of time, Harry Kane was given 120% to Tottenham Hotspur?
Yes, he was doing the same thing.
Okay, but then we disagree.
Yeah, Oscar, you're on the island on the own. I can't lie.
The same thing to me about Lukaku. And what was my excuse? I never said, oh, Lukaku's down tools. This is just how I view football. I don't think these players go into games and go, oh, I'm not trying here. I'm not going to give 100% today. You might have an off day once or twice, but I don't think you're in that mode for months. I think there's so many things. I think Antonio Conte, one of the best managers in the world, is a key factor for him coming in and figuring out how to get the best out of Harry Kane. I think we can't put that to something light. You know what I mean? But anyway, let me read some of the comments on that, and we'll see what everyone's saying, because I don't think many people agree with me. Boss Like Endo said Kane got forced to stay in a crap hole and he down tools. Once he got rejuvenated, he's unstoppable. His worst ever season. Look at the numbers. Top player. Tenton says Kane is not only a good striker, his hold up play, and he also defends, unlike Ronaldo. Bit random shot at Ronaldo there. Lola says Kane actually tried in the Euros. He was actively moving stupid this season. Let's not pretend. I don't see much difference between Harry Kane in the Euros to Harry Kane at the start of this season. I think he was poor on both accounts. And I mean, the difference is between downing tools and having a poor time off it is not clicking. Kane was moving like an idiot on purpose. I don't think he was moving like an idiot on the pitch. That's my thing. And then Baraka's agreeing with Peter. He says, look, if Kane was a black player, he wouldn't get away with the stuff he's getting away with now. 100% agree. 100% agree. That from that Gary Neville interview alone, if that was a black player, finished.
Oscar, do you remember when Kane used to have that signature move where a player would go up for a header and he will back into them deliberately and they'll fall and land on their neck? He's a nasty piece of work, Oscar.
He's done it again.
But nobody spoke about that because it's Harry Kane. Butter wouldn't melt.
Yeah, man. I think
the freaking poster boy.
I think that's sickening. Did any of you guys see West Ham on Thursday night?
I heard them.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, huge win. Guys, West Ham United knocked Sevilla.
It was St. Paddy's Day. I can't lie. I was out.
That was huge. That was a huge victory. I mean, Sevilla serial winners of the Europa League, and West Ham, they lost 1-0 out there, didn't they?
They lost 1-0 out there. Came home and beat them 2-0.
And then they won 2-1.
Hey, the way that Sevilla have turned on Martial after a few weeks, it was a madness.
Is Martial down in tools, or is he just
Oscar? Martial is a lazy piece of work, and what yeah, exactly. I'm trying to hold my words here. The thing is this is a player who was never good enough, and Manchester United got absolutely rinsed when they bought him from Monaco. This is a player who has never shown the effort of becoming a top quality centre forward, and everywhere he's gone, because he's gone to United, he's got the big paycheck, he's living life, he's lush, everything's nice. Now he's gone to Monaco, Sevilla. Have you been to Seville? You know what I'm saying? The sunny streets of Spain. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing, there's no hunger whatsoever.
Nothing to run for.
He's nothing to run for. So it's no surprise that they've turned on him. It's March. He joined in January.
Do you know what's the funniest thing? It's like when he started, he was clapping goals and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. The man then was singing his name. They already made a new chant for him. I was thinking life is lush. I haven't paid attention to Sevilla. A couple weeks later, I'm seeing them in disarray with this guy. I'm like, what? It's only been a couple weeks.
Yeah,
what's happened?
They're blaming him for their form in the league, isn't it? Because weren't they like second in the league for a long period of time?
They're still second. They're still second.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
They're still second.
Also, Robin, clapping goals. He scored 1 goal in 8 games.
Yeah, clapping goals. That was a bit crazy.
Like I said, from what I said, from what I saw on the timeline, I saw goals. I was like, "Yep, he's doing his thing."
Yeah, Sevilla were doing Martial like nobody's business.
Exactly. So that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's fine.
Martial, he's here. He's arrived. He's training. He's got his kit on. But
ice cold.
I watched him against West Ham. He offered 0 movement for Sevilla. They were trying to get back into the game, and he was non-existent, man. Taha says they said he's streetwise because he was diving, apparently. Yeah, man, crazy stuff over there. But big up West Ham, man. West Ham through to the next round. They drew
Lyon. Lyon, France.
Unfortunately for West Ham, they're not making Champions League because
via the Premier League.
No, even via the Europa League.
Oh, come on, Robin. Why?
Nah, because Xavi has clocked the system. And unfortunately, my money is on Barcelona to win the Europa League.
To be fair, my money was always on Barcelona.
For when they dropped down, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought Barcelona were in disarray. You know what I mean?
They were in disarray.
They were.
That's why they were the favourite for me.
But Xavi has clocked. Xavi has risen them. They're back.
Are they risen from the ashes? Yeah.
I don't know if you lot saw this El Clasico yesterday. Yeah.
Hey, the El Clasico, they murdered.
Down on Real Madrid.
Bro, what do you mean they won 4-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu?
What do you mean? 4-0 doesn't even do the game justice.
It should have been 7. It should have been 7.
It should have been like 7. They battered Madrid. They absolutely battered them. Yeah, Xavi's got his thing working out there, man. It's looking all right. It's looking all right too.
Aubameyang with another goal.
Huh?
Aubameyang with yet another goal.
2 goals.
I thought he downed tools and then he came back and then you know what I mean.
But that's what you tried to compare him to one that does that. No chance. Aubameyang and Hank Kane are not the same. We're moving on. They're not the same.
Also, Oscar.
Leonard's comment.
Point.
Put on Leonard's comment real quick because this has been funny ever since he needed PMP.
Now it's 8-8. 8-8.
Yeah,
Oscar don't.
8-8.
Oscar, he's already got a hat trick at his new club. He's already got a hat trick at his new club.
And you guys play
Nobody's surprised Aubameyang scoring goals.
No, do you know what it is though, Adrian? I'm angry. That's what it is. I'm angry because when we let him go, I knew the writing was on all kinds of walls. Okay, honestly, because you're late. I don't want to know.
Oh, but Peter, it's two things, right? A, Arteta's on a yellow card for it because he's made his bed. He has to lie on it. Let's see who he gets in to replace Aubameyang. That's part A. But B, we can't deny it. Aubameyang was a detriment up front this season for Arsenal, and he has been for a while.
Hang on.
I mean, we'll agree to
disagree. Are we here?
No. My thing is this though, bro. Listen, if you think that Aubameyang should be gone, that's one thing. But if you think that you don't bring in a striker to replace, then what are we talking about?
Well, obviously a replacement's coming because clearly long-term Lacazette isn't the answer. They looked in the market. They wanted Vlahovic. They couldn't get him. They wanted Isak. They said that fee is absolutely disgrace. We're not spending 70-odd million on a guy that's got 4 league goals all season. So it's a yellow card offense because you couldn't get Aubameyang firing. Fine. Let's see Arsenal bring in and replace him.
Yeah, man. So that's my opinion. Unfortunately, West Ham will not be in the Champions League. They may be Europa again, Europa Conference. It depends who wins the FA Cup. But I think we'll get on to that shortly. I'm waiting for Pete to come back. I was going to say, shall we move on to the Arsenal?
Yeah, man. I think just give my 2 cents on this Aubameyang situation while we're here. Boss Lakendo says, Oba, he's my guy, serial goal scorer. Now you got like a threat. I think it all heavily hinges on whether Arsenal make that top 4 slot, man. If Arteta can get top 4 without Aubameyang, then I still think it's a bad move. But he takes the W. Look, I did it. I got the toxic guy out my club, and I achieved the goal that I was trying to achieve. However, if he doesn't, and Aubameyang continues clapping goals for Barca, it's gonna look silly, man. It's gonna look silly. Lola says Oba was definitely poor for Arsenal, but I will say he was not used correctly. Barca don't make him do hold-up play. They let him be the in-behind shooter that he is, which is true. And
that's where as a manager you live by your sword.
Do you know what's funny, but it's also sad? Memphis Depay has been moved to the bench ever since Aubameyang has come in.
Why's that?
I'm just like, I was like,
Do Do you know what? Yeah,
what is next for that guy?
I don't think it's a what's next situation. I think
it's calm.
He's still gonna play games and he's still gonna enjoy being a Barcelona player. Trust me, he doesn't want to move anywhere. He would love to stay at Barcelona.
How much is he on? Like 150 grand a week, maybe.
But look, if Barcelona have found a way to play, they're playing with Ousmane Dembele, and they've got these tricky midfielders that are playing. Like, bro, Memphis don't fit that. If he don't fit that, you got to bide your time and wait, man. They signed Adama in the summer, and Adama's not starting games every week. So hold that, man. In and out.
In and out, man.
I feel like, knowing Barcelona, I feel like they'll want to get rid of him then. Because if they got Aubameyang, he's not going to play. And being Barcelona, with the money that they need to recuperate, they're just going to be like, right, you're not playing, I'm going to see you off later. So that's why I'm like, I wouldn't say he's comfortable. I'll be like, if Barcelona decides to get rid, where do you go next? Because what are you offering as a player? Because you're supposed to be the guy this summer, but he's not anymore.
Yeah, man. Look, the Barcelona project is tasty. I can't lie, it's tasty. I do like.
It's very tasty.
Do you know what I love about it as well?
Yeah,
I love when a person can hold their hands up and say, you know what, I was wrong about this. Because do you remember there was a time where Xavi just threw shots at Aubameyang, and he mentioned Aubameyang. He said he's something to the effect of he's not a great footballer. All he relies on is his pace. Blah 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 blah. Now he's your number 9, and he's clapping for you.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. These guys, they be saying stuff, but I think
also, another guy that said stuff is Tony Kroos, and Aubameyang dunked and he said as well. So,
bro. But did you see? Before the start, they hugged it out.
Each other up, bro. They were happy to see each other. This is WWE beef, you know.
Aubameyang was happy to see him because you know what time it was. It was feeding time at the zoo.
Nah, bro. He came. They came on some beef up on social media for us to see, to create this narrative, this storyline. And then when they saw each other, I was like, "Yo, what's good, bro? Long time." Come on,
no, man. Because Aubameyang was like, "I'll do my talking on the pitch. I'll crash it on you. I'll rise it," and he did.
To be fair, he did, man. He did. Crazy time. Where is Peter, man? Are we going to this Arsenal game or what?
Well, Adrian, being the Arsenal fan that he is, also went to the game. So we can talk about it.
I did, man. I did. Look, I think for years now, a criticism of Arsenal has been they've got a soft underbelly, they can't grind out wins, they can't do the nasty, dirty work. They go away to a formidable side in Aston Villa, they grind to a 1-0 victory. Arsenal have got about 13, 14 clean sheets this season. And what Arsenal have said is, you know what, we don't have to be excellent going forwards, but if we take our chance, you guys ain't gonna score past us. And I wanna big up as well Mikel Arteta for the fact that Mikel Arteta / Arsenal's fringe players, because a large criticism of Arteta has always been he needs everything to be perfect, 1 or 2 injuries and it all crumbles, all comes falling down. But this season we've seen Bird Leno, he was thrown to the side for Aaron Ramsdale, a keeper that got relegated twice. He didn't cry, he didn't complain, he didn't moan. He just sat on the bench and come in when he's needed. Do you know what's bad? Like, he had a decent game. And he made a really, really good save at the end. But there was little moments in the game where it was like, this is why you don't start. Like there were times where a ball would come in and he wouldn't claim it. Like there was one time a ball come in, he just sort of lets it go across the face of goal. I think Gabriel has to deal with it. It goes out for a corner, and you sit there and you think to yourself, oh, Ramsdale deals with that. Ramsdale cleans that up all day long. Obviously Cedric Suarez, not a particularly good right back. He done what he had to do. Who else was there? Emil Smith-Rowe came in as well. Yeah, he had a sort of decent game. And let's call a spade a spade. Thomas Partey, since he done that uber critical interview where he said he gives himself a 4 out of 10. Guess what? He's probably been an 8, maybe even a 9. He's been absolutely brilliant.
The streets are saying that because he converted to Islam, the blessings came on him.
Maybe, bro. Maybe man was haram. Man was going Shoreditch and doing all sorts. But now he's refocused because like he's incredible. The way he sort of it reminds me of Fabinho. The way he just sort of nips in. He's very, very, very press resistant. He looks after that ball. It's like watching Moussa Dembele at times. Like when Partey puts his body between him and the player, you're not getting that ball. But he's also got quick feet as well. There was times where Douglas Luiz was chasing shadows at times. Yeah, man, it's looking good. Lack of threat. We could call him lack of threat. You know,
he was lack of threat that game.
He works hard, but he had 2 chances in that game where propping up and number 9, a killer, puts them away. He hasn't got that. And obviously, I think for Arsenal moving forward, he needs to be moved on. Same with Nicolas Pepe. Nicolas Pepe came on. He was absolutely diabolical.
Was he?
He was horrid. He was horrid.
It was an absolute farcical performance. Like, because the one thing is obviously there was a time where Villa was sort of coming into the game, and I said, you know what, Pepe will be good because he's a threat in behind to sort of punish the high line. He could even control the ball, and then obviously, guys, when Rob Holding comes on and he gives you the 5-3-2, there's no chance you're scoring. So yeah, man, Arsenal looking good at the moment. Top four is on. Top four is on.
Adrian, I love it, and I'm going to say this. Arsenal deserve their plaudits. They deserve their flowers. They were excellent that game. At the same time, and I know everyone's going to agree with me, Aston Villa were piss poor. They offered nothing in midfield. Their defense was absolutely diabolical. They left Coutinho on its own for the whole 90 minutes, and they just couldn't do anything in the ball. I saw Tyrone Mings, when he got the ball in the middle, look around and directly pass to Ben White. And I'm thinking to myself, are you just kicking the ball for the sake of it? Like, what's going on here?
Okay, I've got yeah, go on now.
And for the fact that it was unusual, because we've seen ever since Gerrard has come in, like, Aston Villa have been on the up, they're playing better, all that stuff. It felt like they reverted to pre-Gerrard Villa that game. And credit to Arsenal, because they showed that the superiority in everything that was happening, that, yeah, they're fighting for this and trying to get the top 4. So nothing against them. But I was just extremely concerned, like, are Villa at the beach now? Are they just chilling? Because they offered absolutely nothing in that game. Absolutely nothing.
Okay, first point I would say is Arsenal have won 17 league games this season, yet still there always seems to be some sort of caveat behind why they won last week.
There's no caveat. There's no caveat in this game. There's no caveat. I mean, I said they 100% deserve to win. I'm just looking at Villa. I'm like, hold on. Like, what are you doing? That was literally said every 30 minutes. I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why is this happening? What's going on here? You're being like too bad. Like, it's unusual from what I'm seeing there.
I agree. I feel like Ashley Young, from about minute 3, he couldn't wait for the game to be over. He was looking old, he was looking haggard. Saka was giving him the business. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Saka was just giving him the business every time he could get it. With regards to Tyrone Mings is Tyrone Mings. He's 6'5". He's got a bit of pace. He's left-footed, and that's about it.
I can't lie. He didn't deserve the yellow card. He got the ball of Saka, and Saka fooled the referee on that. I was like, yeah.
I don't think Saka fooled the referee. I think it's a sticky one where they've changed the law.
Because he clearly got the ball first before you tackle. So I was like, yeah.
I don't think that was ever in debate. Like, he got the ball, but these guys now, the way they just judge fouls is that if you
I was like, that's not yellow.
If you have reckless intent, then they're giving it as a yellow card. And I think Xhaka did a tackle like that against Manchester City earlier in the season and got sent off for it. He won the ball, but because they said, he was not in control of himself, similar to exactly how Tyrone Mings was, they gave Xhaka the red card. And in this situation, they gave Mings the yellow. And I don't know if you guys watched in midweek, there was the Everton versus Newcastle game where Alan did the same thing.
That was a false.
He didn't win the ball in his one, so it's a slightly different scenario. But he went in for a challenge that was in normal times would be a yellow. They went to VAR and they gave it a red. And the whole reason behind the red is because they feel like he's not in control of his body. So it was an interesting one, man. I was surprised to see Ming stay on the field. I can't lie. I thought that was a red when I saw it first time.
Also, Oscar, I think that point dovetails to the No, I love Steven Gerrard. I do, he's probably the second best player I've ever seen play for my football club. But Oscar, talk about what Steven Gerrard said.
Steven Gerrard is a disgrace, right? Now, so
Saka, I can't back it, unfortunately.
Saka, after receiving that horror tackle from Mings, was consistently kicked about the game. They're giving him the Eden Hazard treatment, the Cristiano Ronaldo treatment, where they just put 2 defenders on him to try and stop him from creating anything, and they kick him. Essentially, they just kick him. The Jack Grealish treatment, as they call it. So at the end of the game, Saka's basically gone to his interview, and he's basically said, "Look, I told the referee these guys are going to try and kick me. So you've got to be on it. You've got to protect me. You can't allow them to just kick me every single time." Big old Stevie G now comes out after hearing this in the presser, and Steven Gerrard says, "Look, playing this is the English game. You've got to learn. You've got to toughen up. I had 16 operations and a hip replacement in my career playing in English football. If Saka's going to play in this league, he needs to learn what it's all about."
Do you know what?
Mandem.
I think. Look, on the one hand, like, come on, bro, like that's an absolute disgrace. Like, you can't be saying that. Like, at some point, we need to protect our best players because we can't have people smashing in, careening into them, and and putting them in danger. That's the one point. The second point, however, is if Steven Gerrard is Saka's manager and he's telling him that, you understand it, in the sense that Bukayo Saka, he's had a meteoric rise where teams genuinely are afraid of him, where teams are genuinely going to double up. Yeah, Pep doubling up on him earlier this season. Teams are going to double up on him. And in the case of Neymar, players are going to kick you. Like, it's now, that's the norm for you. So whilst Gerrard maybe said it in a sort of backhanded way that, Saka's been a wimp or whatever, at the same time, bro, low key, this is what it's going to be for you now. And you're going to have to find a way to deal with it. And I guess Saka did deal with it because he scored on that day. But yeah, so I don't know what you guys think about it.
Why is Steven Gerrard giving us his injury list here? This is nonsense. This is nonsense. Yeah. At the end of the day, there are certain players that are getting kicked left, right, and centre, and it's not sporting like. I get what you're saying. It happens in the game, but the referees have got to do more to protect these players because they just get kicked out of the game. Neymar was the perfect example that you brought up. Neymar is one of the most talented players to ever grace a football pitch. But his whole career has been kicked. And we've lost arguably, 10-20% of what he could have been because of the way his career...
At least.
You know what I mean? I don't think that the decline in Eden Hazard is exempt from this treatment as well. I think the kicks have led to the injuries that have hampered his career and stuff like that. So I think Steven Gerrard saying that was a bit like, I think there's a bit of bitterness from the defeat that's come out there, and he's just said something to go stick it back. Because the Villa guys were there's another comment that I want to get onto later about how these Villa players weren't happy with losing this game. But let me read some comments first.
If you saw what Ashley Young said post game, I couldn't believe it.
Arsenal fan
that's the worst thing.
Arsenal fan getting rattled on Gerrard's statement. One toughen up. Yeah, he's basically saying toughen up. Big up Jassy says Gerrard was right. Saka needs to toughen up. I'm surprised people are on Gerrard's side.
No, do you know what it is? I think like the way it comes out is just bitter. And it's like, and it's backhanded, but I do genuinely think there's a point in it where Saka needs to start to understand that this is his reality now. People are going to kick him.
Yeah, man. Lola says Gerrard has rattled his damn self. Just because your dumb self can't go gym anymore doesn't mean
steady.
16 surgeries. 16.
Steady.
It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Lola's actually furious about this, man. SW6 says, Man wants Saka to have 60 operations. What is Stevie G doing? It's true. It's true. Lola says, Arsenal have been branded with being the team that you're allowed to hack our players because we're a soft touch. That is true. They do have that reputation. Look how many players at Arsenal's careers have been halted because of this nonsense.
Do you remember what Wenger called the guy that ruined Diaby's career? He called him an assassin. I said, no, he said Diaby would have been a great player someday, but a Sunderland's under 23 assassin took it away from him. The Sunderland guy ain't even got a Wikipedia by the way, just some throwaway player. Ruins a fantastic career.
I can't lie. Every time I think of like leg kicks and Arsenal, I always think back to Eduardo. Seeing that live was horrid.
Hey, Tensis, Oscar, Steven Gerrard played hard during his time, so.
Well, I don't think the internet is quite it, but yeah.
Right, you lost. My bad.
You're back.
I pressed back and then it went. But yeah, no. Tensis said I don't think his statement was unfair, bro. You just because you were kicking man every single week. Wait, why is everyone laughing? Did I just drop out in a funny way?
Because you literally just dipped.
These guys are laughing. Now, man, bun Gerrard for that comment, bro. Bun Gerrard. Look, if Saka's getting kicked, the referees need to protect these players. Protect the ballers, man.
Thank you for Adrian. Is he still the manager you want post Jurgen? Or is there someone specifically you're looking for?
Tactically, he's never been a manager I want post Jurgen Klopp, simply because he hasn't done it anywhere near a high enough level, and ultimately, as a Liverpool fan, the fear is going back to where we were, and a big part of that is sort of getting in the right sort of manager. Emotionally, of course, it's beautiful for him to obviously finally win the league of the club. But obviously, we've seen what's happened when clubs go for emotional appointments, i.e., Ole Gunnar Solkjaer, i.e., Frank Lampard. So I think Stevie needs to cut his teeth. He needs to gain experience, and if he doesn't, to be honest, like personally, even in 2 years, I don't necessarily think he's going to be ready. I'd rather someone with a bit more experience, maybe in 6-7 years. But yeah, personally, I don't think I think he still needs a bit more work experience.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man. A couple more comments on the injury thing. Baraka said Stevie G wants man to have an injury list as long as him. Ridiculous. Tessie said, Oscar, we all called Keane a legend, and he always played hard and rough, so we can't have it two ways. Yeah, but like, look, the game has changed. You can't do 2-foot sliding tackles now and win the ball and get away with it. Yeah. For example, we were just talking about that Mings challenge. Mings went in and won the ball. He won the ball cleanly. It's the yellow card. Why? Because he was reckless and he caught the player afterwards. In the days of Keane and Scholes, those tackles would have been fine. They would have played on. Now you're getting a yellow card for them. So
that would have been a cracking tackle.
Yeah. Hey, Adrian, do you remember that Steven Gerrard comp that was flying around? And it was like, what a midfielder. And he was just doing red card challenges.
I kid you not. There was at least 6 red cards.
It was like 6 or 7.
And 4 strong yellows.
2 red card challenges, yeah.
I kid you not. There was only like 2 legal tackles in that whole comp. And it was like 2 minutes, 18 seconds. It was
disgraceful. It was a different time, man. It was a different time. We're not there no more. You can't just be 2-footing players and think you're going to get away with it, man. Logan says Keane played rough and it was mad then, in my opinion. He actively went out to hurt, man. Let's not stop acting like
this. That's not like, yeah. He did though. He
did. Guys. You know, Roy Keane played in a different era. You know, there was one time he was coming up in the academy for Nottingham Forest. Yeah, he had a bad game. Do you know what his manager did to him?
He punched him.
Brian Clough banged him in his face.
Brian Clough punched him.
But he said,
I don't know if you lot are deep in what Adrian just said. Brian Clough punched him.
Backed him in the face.
Had a poor performance. A bang to the face. This is the Roy Keane that you're talking about. This is the Roy Keane that played next to Gary Neville, who's telling players don't go to the F1.
His moral compass is farcical. He ended Haaland's dad's career.
Nah, man. I can't. This is why these 90s guys, yeah, I respect them. They won in their era. But when they're talking about their era, I'm not taking everything like it's gospel and we should be living by it now. No. The stuff they man were up to was nonsensical, bro.
It's like in the old school days. If your child fell down a well on the Sabbath, you can't rescue them because you're exerting too much work. Like just because it made sense then, don't mean it makes sense now, my bro, man.
And you see players like Cristiano Ronaldo, like Thiago Silva, like all of these guys who are now playing into their late ages, like 37, 30, 36, and people are like, how can they play for so long? Because they actually looked after their bodies, because they actually decided they were going to be athletes. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a different game. The players are going to last longer now. We're going to have these players for a longer period of time.
Ronaldo was older than Wayne Rooney. Take a still picture of the both of them and look, and that tells you everything you need to know.
One of them was in the pub getting lashed after wins, and the other one was drinking water. So it is what it is.
As I like to say.
It is what it is. Do we have anything more on this Arsenal game? Obviously, Arsenal edging ever closer to that top 4 spot. They're looking good. What are you man thinking? Are they going to get it?
It's not over yet, but they're in a good position. That's just it, really.
Do you know what? I think there's slight fear of mass. I think Arsenal have got to face a few big hitters, and I think they've done the good part of they've beat the teams that they're better than. But at some point, you know, when they're playing the likes of your Chelseas, your Spurs,
so they got to play Chelsea, they got to play Spurs and us, and that could easily bring them back in. If that makes sense.
Those are 3 huge games. I'll be real though. I could see them beating us. I can't lie. I could see them beating Chelsea. I don't.
And the Spurs is a toss-up. It just depends who wakes up.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we're in for excitement anyway. As a neutral, anyway, I can't speak for you, Robin, as a United fan who's in the thick of it. But I think Chelsea are clear of those teams. I think we'll be third definitely, and I think I'll be able to enjoy. I think I'll be able to sit and enjoy the top 4 race from a.
I mean, Oscar, you say that, but you're 5 points clear of Arsenal. When do you play them?
They're next, I believe. I think they got them next.
We've got Brentford next. We don't have Arsenal next.
I mean, so realistically, just say Arsenal on the current trajectory, and they end up beating you. All of a sudden, they're 2 points behind. So
Arsenal is the only tough game we have left. We've played everybody. We go away to United, but I ain't worried about that. We played everybody else. Arsenal have tough fixtures. Tottenham make easy fixtures tough.
And they make tough fixtures easy.
And Man United make easy fixtures tough as well. So, I don't think Chelsea are in that race. But we will see. Time will tell. Lola
you got them Saturday, 9th of April. So, not long.
Saying Arsenal have to play Chelsea, Spurs, and United as if they don't have to play us. Please, the top 4 race is never locked off. But Arsenal are definitely in. No, but I think
I just said it's not over. It's just not over.
Yeah, it's not over for sure. And I think the point is that Chelsea, I don't think they're in this race with you. So that's a top 6 team that you've got to face that's exempt. And then United and Spurs, Arsenal's top 6 record has been horrendous. You've been against the smaller teams. You have not turned up against any of those teams apart from Spurs this season. So,
and also as well, if you're setting the pace, you'd much rather not play your direct rivals. Whereas if you're chasing, you'd always want to play them because it's a 6-pointer and you've been closer to your level.
But yeah, but I think Arsenal Spurs is the big one. If they beat Spurs, they're in the top 4.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully, man. Fingers crossed. No, but also just to touch on the Arsenal Liverpool game. I feel like at the moment, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, I think it's a lack of quality at the moment, you know, because you compare it to that Liverpool game where in the first half you couldn't really tell who was Liverpool, who was Arsenal, being brutally honest. But then there was a point in the game where we ended up scoring like 2 seconds before, say, but there's a point in the game where Liverpool needed to win this game. They bring on Roberto Firmino and Mohamed Salah. Arsenal needed to get something from the game. They bring on Nicolas Pepe and Eddie Nketiah. So,
Nketiah. Oh, can't wait to get to any shows. We just talk about him.
Yeah, man. And I think also, so to say, I think Lola made a point about all Arsenal need all Arsenal lack. Sorry, is a potent striker, and like I said, ain't the business. Yeah, I'm still not sold on Xhaka, I'll be honest. I still think that he's got a mare in him. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to have a poor game. But let's give credit to where credit's due. Xhaka's playing well. But in my opinion, I agree with you. I think a number 9 and like an Yves Bissouma and Arsenal's 11 is looking good. They just need to add players.
Tensi says, I've seen a few games where Emil Smith-Rowe was average player in the wings. I'd have to disagree, my bro. I think he's a good player, man. He don't start a lot for Arsenal, but it is what it is. Assad says, we need 3 out of 4 wins, and then 3rd is finally secured. We face Arsenal on the 20th. I'm guessing you're a Chelsea fan. Big up, Assad. AD, should we move on to your club? Because we kind of spoke about that game. That was arguably one of the worst.
Nottingham Forest. You smelly club. You should have scored a few times still, but Liverpool did their thing at the last minute. So hey, that's how I feel about that.
you lot are the benefactors of VAR at a level I've never seen. I've never seen before.
You've never seen before.
A penalty denied, yeah, for flipping Nottingham Forest, yeah. Clearly, Alisson's hand contact is made, yeah. Then this goal. Okay. Then this goal that's onside and it's offside, yeah. One angle is clearly offside. The next angle, they're drawing the line in a funny way that makes him look onside. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on at Liverpool, man. What's going on over there? Looks a bit fishy to me. It looks like somebody wants you to win stuff.
I can send you a video of last season when all of the farcical decisions that went against us, if you like. You know,
farcical decisions. Is that the reason you don't win the league?
No. We were crap last season. And Oscar, much to your chagrin, we're on for 4 cups. You know, a quadruple is still possible. When the semi-finals of the FA Cup, when the quarterfinals of the Champions League, we've already won a Carabao Cup and we're knee deep in the title race. So I think the mantra is we just got to win and see where we are come May. Forest, you know, and I think Jurgen Klopp is finally starting to understand that these cups are important, and we've actually got enough strength and depth to actually go far in these cups. So you saw Alisson play, you saw Virgil van Dijk play. I think he sort of rested. I think he rested Salah and Mane because he didn't want to be seen as disrespecting Africa again. So yeah, man. No, it's true.
Man, he could have won a little tournament, man. He did that.
Yeah, man. He did that still, but yeah, what you call it? I think Liverpool did caught life. I think they caught life in this game, but it's what winners do. Winners get those breaks, and it's very interesting now that they've got Man City in 2 important games back to back, both in the FA Cup and in the Premier League, on how that's going to happen. So, how you feel about that, Adrian?
Obviously, the league game is what we want, isn't it? I'm actually quite grateful we never caught them in the Champions League as well, because if you play Man City 4 times, you're losing a couple still. The way the Champions League has been set up for a Liverpool Man City final, I said that is very sus, but we move. I mean. The Bulls land when the Bulls land, isn't it? You know what I mean?
They had the debacle earlier this season. I can't.
I mean, it'll be a victory for football. I'll tell you that for free.
Well, why would it be a victory for football? What is that nonsense?
Because we're having genuinely the 2 best teams in the continent that happen to be from the same league, knee deep in a title race, fighting it out on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania, and let's see who the best team is. Because you could potentially have one team going for a treble, you could potentially have one team going for a quadruple. Let's bring them together and let's see what's popping.
Well, you know, there's a long way to go before we start talking about finals. There's quarterfinals, then there's semi-finals, and then
with all due respect, and you can clip this if you like, but if you're in the Champions League and you get as far as the quarterfinal stage, and you're fortunate enough to draw Benfica, I don't show you any malice for looking forward to the semi-finals personally.
Well, wouldn't you say that last season when you drew a very, very poor Real Madrid side, or the season before that when you drew an average Atleti side, and you were knocked out both times by sides that you really should have beaten?
Okay, well, first of all, Oscar, if you watched, and I've said this for like 2 years now, if you watched that Atletico Madrid Liverpool game, the highlights are on BT. I've watched it like 7 times because I'm a nutcase.
Why are you putting yourself through that pain?
No, because it was a phenomenal performance. I enjoy it. It's mind-boggling how Liverpool didn't go through that day. Like, Oscar, watch it back.
I don't need to watch it back. I don't need to watch it back. This is Champions League football. This is what Pep Guardiola goes through every single season, where he's the better team in a better game, and they don't make it through.
Bro,
what I'm talking about. Don't count your chickens. This is the Champions League.
I hear that.
You're looking ahead to Manchester City. Have you beaten Benfica? Have you beaten?
No, but I'm telling you my rationale. I'm telling you my rationale for why I'm so confident. That game, they came Anfield. We were 2-0 up. We scored the goals we needed to score. Adrian, who was in goal at the time, gives the ball to the. Yeah, there we go. Gives the ball to them. We end up losing the game. Oh, we took. Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Can I tell you what? I don't want to hear it because
okay, fine.
Robin is a Manchester United fan, and the greatest ever manager to manage his club went into the Champions League over 20 separate occasions, and he was only the victor 2 times, right? He should have won the Champions League way more than that. And me as a Chelsea fan, I feel like my club should have won the Champions League more than the times that we have as well. And I'm sure you as a Liverpool fan might feel the same way, given your reaction to those past 2 seasons. Yeah. So this notion of like, we were unlucky, we were the better team in this time, it don't wash in the Champions League. It don't wash. You have to do it. You have to do it. In the Premier League, if you play well and you don't win the game, you live to fight another day. You can win the next game and you can go on and win the league. That ain't how the Champions League works, man. That ain't how the Champions League works.
But bro, I'll be real. I'm sure in the quarterfinals when you drew who you drew. Who was it, by the way? Was it Porto? It was Porto. Bro. When you drew Porto in the quarterfinals,
can we go to the round of 16? Just before we get to Porto, because last season we faced Atletico Madrid. João Felix was on the pitch. Hudson-Odoi dunked on his head. But let's move on.
Okay, I'm sure, bro. when you drew Porto in the quarterfinals, and the route got mapped out for you, I'm sure you said to yourself, if we beat Porto, I fancy this Real Madrid side or this Liverpool side in the semis. And then the final was a one-off game. I'm sure you told yourself that.
We beat Porto, man. We have to beat Porto. Do you know what I mean?
We have to beat Benfica.
You're talking about final. You're talking about final with City. You're mapping out both sides of the leg.
No. Like City's by the by. Whatever happens to them happens to them. But I'm saying Liverpool. I don't see what's so preposterous about saying Liverpool off to the final.
What I don't like is this media love fest between Liverpool and City. Oh, we're the 2 best teams. We're the 2 best teams.
Well, they are.
Well, guess what? Get to the final because you were the 2 best teams last year and the year before, and Liverpool didn't make it to the final. City made it to 1, and it got slapped up.
Okay. We want to talk about last season.
Yeah,
we went to the Bernabeu or the training grounds with Ozan Kabak and Nat Phillips.
Okay,
Real Madrid scored. Real Madrid's first goal was a ball over the top that beat both centre backs.
There you go, and it beat Trent too. And guess what?
Oh, bro, come on, let's not do this. So
Trent is injured now, so you're going into that first game against Benfica potentially without Trent.
Oh, but listen. So you mean to tell me that Liverpool that game last season against Real Madrid is a sample to what's going to happen this season?
No, I'm saying don't count your chickens, bro. I'm saying
don't count your chickens, but you can see the eggs. You can see the eggs.
That's the saying. Don't count the chickens when it's still an egg. I don't know what I'm saying is, man.
I'm sorry. Like basically, what I'm saying is, as a team, and I'm sure 2 or 3. If I'm a Chelsea fan, I'd be feeling the same way. The pathway for Liverpool to make it to the final was there. So I don't see.
Bayern.
So you got to face Bayern. Bayern will be the. If you underestimate Bayern, then that's your own fault. Never underestimate them.
I think we're better than Bayern Munich.
But if you, what I'm saying, don't underestimate them.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what people do.
You were better than Real Madrid and you were better than Atleti, so I don't really want to hear that.
No, but I've given you the asterisk, bro. That Real Madrid last season, it wasn't Liverpool.
Okay, cool. Tenzin says, Oscar, we will be in the final. Don't worry. Not sure about Chelsea. That's all right.
Also Chelsea, I'll be honest with you.
They weren't sure last year.
Chelsea over 2 legs. Nobody wants Chelsea over 2 legs. Like, you've got a very good chance of making it through as well. And Oscar, are you going to sit here and tell me you haven't got eyes on the final? Now
I've got eyes on Real Madrid. I got eyes on Real Madrid, bro. I'm not talking about Champions League finals until my team beats Madrid, and then we'll see if we got City or Atleti, and then we got to beat one of them.
Okay, fine. I guess we're different then. But I'll be honest, when you get to the quarterfinals of a competition, it gets exciting, bro.
It does get very exciting. It's why we love the competition. It's why we love the competition. Tenton says, Oscar, I don't know whether the male or female chicken is coming out of the egg, but I still see egg coming.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
That's a mad statement. But
everyone, including myself, had us nowhere near the title. Don't say everyone.
Don't say everyone, Endo.
Had you near the title from day one.
Don't say everyone.
One, because that's where you should be. Yeah, anything less than that is a failure. Now we're having our greatest ever season. We're supposed to be an old team. Yeah, man. I always felt like if you got your players back, you should be right here, and you got your players back. No injury crisis. Go and win the league.
And also, like, this notion Liverpool are an old team. The bulk of our team are born between 1990 and 1992. Then the peak of their powers, bro.
Prime.
It's prime.
It's prime.
It's prime. But we have spent a little too long on Liverpool. You got Man City in the next round of the FA Cup. That's going to be interesting. Man City beat Southampton. I think, what was the final score?
4-1. 4-1. So it started off 1-1 at half time. And then City said, no, we can't be playing around anymore, and just left the smackdown on Southampton. So it's 4-1 in the final.
Yeah, man. And shout out to City. They're in the next round. Obviously, they've got Atleti in the Champions League. We'll see how that goes. Can I talk about Chelsea for a little bit? This week, I took a trip to France. I went to Lille.
Hey, Oscar was living his best life. Do you see his Instagram stories, Adrian? Like,
I saw him buying waffles and a beer. I saw him taking photos of random people. I saw him in their states.
I was living the life.
Man was waving that French flag, that va-va-voom. That's what he was doing.
Hey, Lola's dying to talk about Frank Lampard. We'll get there, Lola. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Let me do my spiel first, and then we'll get to Lamps. Yeah, man, we had a great victory in Lille. Through to the next round, as we spoke about already with the Champions League. We keep winning with these sanctions, bro. It don't really matter. Like, ever since we got sanctioned, we've won every single game.
I don't like. You had a scare though after the penalty. You had a little scare. The Lille penalty.
Oh, fam! You know the Lille fans are insanely loud.
I told you they're mage.
Bro, their fan base is cold. So when the game started, I thought, oh snap, we're in for an evening here because this is intimidating. And then when they scored their penalty, I was like, oh no. And then, you know, we show character, man, the character that you want to see, and we turned it around. Boss like Endo said, hella white people in Oscar's pick. What? Hey, I'm flying the flag for the black people out there, man. There's not that many black people going away to watch Chelsea. Come on, man.
No, quick question though. Endo sees everything on social media.
Yeah, and I don't see Endo. I don't know how he sees everyone.
No, bro, I'm curious. Like, DM me or something.
He's a secret man. But I also back this though. On Oscar's point, I do.
Robin's gone.
That's mid floor. You know when a man gets the mic.
Hey, Robin, you cut out. What happened, bro?
I cut out. Oh, sorry. I was fully talking, and then I just thinking, why is everyone frozen? Now, I was saying that, I don't see it as a race thing, really, when you're all out there supporting your team. So when you say that hello white people, I was like, it's just having fun with the Chelsea lot. So I'm just doing this thing.
Yeah, man. It was interesting, man. It was interesting. My first ever away, so I was very apprehensive, bro. I didn't know what to expect. I thought I was going to be the only black person.
I was surprised not being a European night away. Like, they're hilarious, or what happens?
Here we go. Yeah. I've done it now. I'll probably do it again if we're allowed to go. But obviously, Chelsea ain't allowed to go nowhere at the moment. So it is what it is. Baraka says Lille fans are different gravy. Boss Ender says, AD, leave me alone, G. Yeah, AD.
We need to know who you are. Who are you?
I know his hat is something like, Salah season or something stupid like that.
Well, a picture of Firmino as his Abby.
Yeah, you know them ones. You're playing against the 34-year-old striker. Don't get gassed. I'm not getting gassed. It's Lille. I'm not getting gassed. I'm taking it a day at a time. We've got Real Madrid next round. We beat Real Madrid last time, but that don't mean we're going to beat them this time. So
it's funny. Chelsea fans can't go to the Santiago Bernabeu either.
They can't what?
I would love to.
They can't go to the Bernabeu.
We can't.
Just buy a home ticket. Buy a home. Do you know in La Liga that home fans and away fans majority of the time they do sit together, like from time to time. You see like Barca fans.
A lot of people I know are planning to just go to Madrid and buy a ticket in the home and.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, man. I guess, but it's, I don't know. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know.
There's a few times when you can go to the Bernabeu, and boy, you need to go.
I know we were robbed of it last year, and we're getting robbed again this year.
To be fair, they're not playing at the Bernabeu though, anyway, are they?
Yeah, they are.
No, they are. Are they? Did you not see Mbappe scoring down at the Bernabeu, my friend?
What's wrong with it?
They're just rebuilding it.
The first few rows are still like taped up, so no one can sit there. They're still building those areas.
There's one row they can sit now. They can sit in one row now.
No,
but
it's looking like the training grounds.
Yeah.
No, they're just rebuilding it.
Yeah, but it's not fully full. Like it's not full stadium yet. That's still there. Still Bernabeu. We then played. Who did we play on the weekend? Middlesbrough. 700 fans travelled to that game. 1-2-0. Nice. Assad says, I'm liking how our attackers are starting to score. Ziyech, Kai, and Pulisic all on form. And he also says thoughts on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ruben's good, man. I like watching Ruben play. I know you're saying he's bare clumsy, but he takes risks, man. I kind of like that. I kind of like that he's willing to beat a man. So big up Ruben. But yeah, Chelsea need to advance and keep winning games and get this owner situation sorted out, man. Because I'm trying to go to more games this year, and I'm not having that.
So
man.
who is this? Because I can see that the Saudis are just no longer in it. Who is this new guy that's trying to come in now?
The Saudis are still in it. So basically, the bidding closed on Friday. The main people that people are talking about is a guy called Bowley, who's like an American owner, part of a group that owns the LA Dodgers. There's a group in the UK with a guy called Nick Candy, who's very, very close with the Tories.
Yeah, that's who. Yeah, Nick Candy is the one I've been seeing around.
Yeah, he's a Chelsea fan, so he's been talking a lot about saying, "Oh, I love the club. I'm a fan." Giving it all that. And then there's the Saudi bid, which the Saudi bid came in quite late, but there's over 100 bids. So we've heard about the high-profile ones. There's obviously some non-high-profile ones that are going to be serious contenders too. So I'm not really worrying too much about it. I don't really think my input can change anything. They got to pick who these owners are. But anyway, moving on from the Chelsea, Lola wanted us to talk about Super Frankie Lampard, who managed to get a win against Newcastle United on Thursday, but managed to undo all that good hard work by getting absolutely battered by Crystal Palace.
That was a twat.
Crystal Palace are going to Wembley, people. That is a surprise.
Big up them, man. Big up them.
I mean, they've been before, to be fair.
No, but I didn't expect them. Like, out of all the teams that were in FA Cup left, I just didn't count them to be that far. So that's why I'm like, yeah, well done. I'm giving them their props. They actually did what they did.
Who did they beat? Oh, yeah, they beat Everton, didn't they?
Yeah.
Guys, they beat Everton 4-0. Did you guys see Frank Lampard?
Hey, Super Frankie Lampard.
Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but I just saw the highlights of the game and I said, yeah, you know what? Peter was right. He needs to be fired.
No.
He needs to be fired.
It's not that he needs to be fired, bro. He needs personal intervention.
It's never his fault, is it?
He needs someone to come into his life and understand and explain accountability to him.
It's never his fault.
I have never seen guys, if you didn't watch this post-match interview, please go and check it out. It's all over Twitter, right?
Can I hazard a guess?
Go on.
He came in with a face like a slap's bottom, right? You probably would have said something to the effect of, we had the better of it opening stages of the game. It didn't quite go our way. He will then sort of blame a refereeing decision maybe. And then he will try and deflect from a 4-0 trouncing, I guess. And he wouldn't give any credit to the team that actually beat him. Something like that.
That's what he does every week. He did that, but it was worse, right? Yeah. So first of all, he said, we talking about Everton, he said, look, we didn't play that bad. We were actually all right.
He never does.
First half an hour. He then said, Palace weren't that good, right? They weren't that good. He said the first goal was a fluky goal. The second goal came from a corner. The third goal
like it doesn't count.
And the fourth goal was at average. He went through every single goal and discredited every single one. He took no accountability for the loss. He didn't say anything about tactics. He didn't say anything about why Everton got the game wrong. He just said every Palace goal was lucky and we played all right. I've never seen anything like it, guys. And for me, it's the worst thing about Frank Lampard as a manager. He refuses to take accountability, man. I've seen Thomas Tuchel come out so many times this season when we've lost or drawn games and be like, you know what? I got this wrong.
Every time.
That was my fault. I shouldn't. Bro, Frank Lampard will never, ever acknowledge any fault or wrongdoing.
And also, Oscar, I actually think it's a commentary on the sort of coaches we produce and the coaches that are maybe produced elsewhere or top level coaches anyway. Because, yeah, as you said, Thomas Tuchel will give you a concise, considered, almost a review tactically of where it went wrong, where it fell down. And you look at managers like Ole Gunnar Solkjaer who just say the Manchester way 14 times, whatever that means. And you look at someone like a Frank Lampard where no tactic, where he said, oh, well, yeah, to score the corner, like corners don't count. I don't know, man. It just shows you the sorts of managers we're producing these days.
Yeah, man, and it was symptomatic. It reminded me of this was worse than anything I saw at Chelsea, but it did remind me of some of the way he acted at Chelsea. Just zero accountability. He consistently likes to throw players under the bus. Like, this guy's not trying hard enough. That one's not trying hard enough. No desire. We haven't got. He said in the press conference the players didn't have the bollocks to go out and win the game.
He actually said that.
What? Yeah, he did. And it's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
But I'll say this. The one thing I normally kind of feel sorry for Everton because it's just like, but I don't feel sorry for the fans because you man protested for this guy. You man begged for this guy to come in. So you reap what you sow.
I mean, in fairness, like, it wasn't the whole fan base. I mean, there were fan base. There were Everton fans that were like,
they protested. They said, I want this guy in. They chanted his name. They got him in. So you just got to lie in your bed.
He's a Tory, for goodness sake.
That part's a Tory still. Obviously,
in Liverpool.
In Liverpool still.
Yeah. Liverpool hate even being called English. They see themselves as their own independent state.
Liverpool is Team Labour to the end.
Yeah, man. Lola says Lampard needs to be sacked. The way he was moving was pathetic. He got his ass handed to him and he tried to pretend like it was some fluke loss. That's a fact.
I didn't fluke loss 4 goals. So exclusive.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing, guys. I couldn't believe what he was hearing. Boss Like Endo said Lampard managing is like deadgy boxing. You ain't got
friggin' disgrace.
Yeah, man. It's sad, man. It's sad. Lampard was probably the most. I thought he was the most likable guy at Chelsea, and he's turned his whole brand into being one of the most hated guys in the Premier League for the way he's acting lately. It's not.
First season he was all right, to be fair.
No, I don't think he's hated. I just think he's just not a good manager.
But this stuff is making him hated because.
Yeah,
he's like, everyone could be a bad manager. That's fine. But when you walk around and talk like you're the dogs, you know what? Like you're the best manager, and you're throwing players under the bus, and you're not taking any accountability for poor results, bruh.
But do you know what it is though? Bruh. It's kind of a generational thing, wherein you look at someone like let's take Frank Lampard for example, right? And then let's take someone like Dele Alli. Lampard is probably trying to implement those sorts of methods that Jose gave him at 23 on a guy like, and then Jose's also tried to implement those on a guy like Dele Alli at 23, and it's had 2 completely different effects. On the one hand, you get a world-class, one of the best players to ever play the game in this country. Then on the other hand, you disenfranchise and you alienate a guy, and he starts to dislike football. And I think, in some senses, Lampard has tried to adopt that Jose model, But as Endo said, he ain't got the Jose facilities, he ain't got the Jose credentials. And then when he says things like this, Jose's got a track record of 20 years identifying talent. Analyzing football games. I think he knows what he's talking about. Whereas with Lamps, you just look out of your depth, mate.
Yeah, sad one. Tenson said, Oscar, why is it sad? Is it because he's Chelsea? Yeah, it's sad for me personally. I don't think it's sad for everyone. But for me, Lampard's one of my favourite football players, man. Chelsea don't have a lot of likeable figures, innit? So Lampard, he needed to be one of them, and it's not looking that way. I looked at a pic of Lamps before the Chelsea job, and now he looks like he's aged 10 years.
Oli was another one.
Yeah, Ollie's the managerial seat ages you, not in a nice way. So I guess we can move on to the awards, right? Is there anything else to cover in terms of FA Cup and League? I guess Leicester beat Brentford. Was it 2-1?
2-1. They beat them.
Shout out to Brentford.
What else happened? Not that I'm aware of anything that's important. Yeah, teams are starting to be at the beach, if that makes sense. It's starting to get that time.
Who do you have in mind?
Last break, man. It happens. It happens round about now.
Southampton Beach. I think Villa. After seeing that performance, I think Villa at the beach.
Man, I think we'll have to wait till next year to see what Steven Gerrard's really made out of. Because I think from now on, their results will just be up and down nonsense.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look, I'm looking at the table now. They're 10 points behind Wolves in 8th. So it's like, you know.
Tension wants us to talk about City's 4 fixtures. They've got Liverpool twice and Atletico twice. Do you think the high congestion of intense games will affect them?
No, not really. I think Pep's just that type of mentality monster that whatever game he comes out, he's just there to win. And
isn't that the same?
And it's the same for Liverpool because they got Benfica, City twice. Yeah, City twice. I think they only got one easy game, and that's Everton, and that's at the end after all of it. So
I hope they both get knocked out, man. I hope they both go out of the Champions League still.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey,
Oscar's
Portuguese. He's Portuguese. He's Portuguese for the next month.
Hey, come on, man. Come on. I'm looking out for me, man. Yeah. Okay. So let's go into goal of the week. What you guys saying? Was there any goal that stood out to you as a special one?
Hakim Ziyech for me.
Hakim Ziyech was my goal of the week.
Wasn't a great weekend for goals, to be fair. But...
It wasn't a great weekend for goals. I guess none of the Palace goals were that good either. Yeah, man. I guess it is what it is.
It's a sad like Lampard there, mate.
Fluky goal. One came from a corner.
People saying Castagna.
I didn't see that game, bro. I didn't see that game.
Let me see it. Let me see it before I cast my final vote.
Well, Castagna, he's still about, yeah?
It looks like it, bro. He's not telling me he scored a banger. Apparently, Castagna scored an absolute screamer. So let me have a look at it and I'll see. Hey, it's not coming up on beauty.
It's a beauty.
Yeah, man. Well done.
Hey, I've changed my vote.
That's right, though. Foden scored a banger as well, you know. Foden scored.
He did. But I've just seen it now. Yeah, goal of the week.
Nah,
I've changed my vote.
Castagna, though. I'm gonna give it to Castagna. Adrian, who you voting for?
Well, Ziyech, that's the goal that I saw. But...
you stuck with Ziyech, yeah. So I guess this week, goal of the week goes to Castagna. Shout out to him. Player of the week. Who turned up as a player? People are saying Maddison had an inch-perfect free kick. I didn't see this Leicester game. It seems like I missed all the goals in this game.
No, I've just seen it. It was a great free kick, but the Castagna goal was much better, in my opinion. In terms of player of the week...
Check out Foden's goal if you haven't. My team of the week... what are we doing? Player of the week. Who is player of the week, guys?
I'm trying to think. Out of all the games that I saw... There was no one that was like...
Did Son score twice for Tottenham?
He did. Kane got two assists.
I can't lie.
We ridiculed him for
my player of the week is Gunnar abroad. I would love to go abroad and give it to Aubameyang. I thought he had a fantastic game in El Clasico.
Hey man,
But, yeah.
I watched him score two wonderful goals. I thought, what's my man's name? Man City, ex-Man City player.
Pedri.
No, the one that plays for Barca, ex-Man City.
Oh,
yeah,
Ferran Thomas.
Ferran Thomas.
Ferran Torres. Yeah, he played really well. Man. He played really well. Tensi says, person of the week, Gunther Steiner, Haas F1 boss. Yeah. Oh, Tommy Abraham. Hey, big up SW6, man. Hey, Tommy scoring 2 goals in the Rome derby. Hey, you might have to have that one, man. You might have to have that one from me.
No, I'm going to 2 goals and an assist in the El Clasico. Especially in an El Clasico that not many people cared about until it actually came very recently. Normally, I remember back in the day, I used to look forward to that game, but
yeah,
I can't lie.
Yeah. An event.
I cared more about this one more than any since Ronaldo and Messi left.
Yeah, I'm saying this is the first one I somewhat cared about, if that makes sense. I was like, oh, it's on. But I only cared about it because of the day.
Because the way Xavi has got the Barcelona team playing, they're doing really well in the Europa League. I like a lot of their players, man. I'm a big fan of Gavi.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Pedri. Ferran Torres, I always liked at City. Now he's moved there. Aubameyang, Adama, Memphis. It's an exciting squad. And then obviously you've got Real Madrid, who are top of the league, looking to win the league.
Man. I mean, they still probably will, to be fair, but
yeah, man.
They still will.
I was excited for the El Clasico, man. It was a good one. So, Adrian, the final vote is yours. Obviously, I've gone for Tammy. Robin's gone for Aubameyang. Who's player of the week?
Yeah, I got for Aubameyang, man.
Big up Aubameyang, man.
He's showing that he's still got it when he's actually on time.
I can't hate on that at all. Team of the week for me, it's the team that etched their name in Wembley. It's got to be Crystal Palace.
We've got to go down to Selhurst Park and give it to them.
Okay,
absolutely.
I was going for Barca.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a great win, but come on, man. It's not every day.
It's not every day. It's not every day that
it's not every day you beat Real Madrid 4-0 at the Bernabeu, to be fair.
Yeah, and
it should have been 7, if we're being honest.
What's that do? Makes me sick, man. What's that do?
Huh? Whoa, what are you talking about? Of course.
He said Liverpool 2 big wins.
Yeah, it was 2 big wins.
Yeah, but you're not team of the week for beating Nottingham Forest, man. Get out of here.
No, I agree, but it's a credible shout. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We had 2 big wins. I've got to put my name in the hat.
Did you?
Yeah, man. We beat Lille and we beat who? Middlesbrough.
So great. You even forgot it. Fair enough.
You think Nottingham Forest? It's not like they're that much better than Middlesbrough. Come on, man. Same thing. Lola said,
I was gonna say Luton Town because we might be going there next season and they won't probably not.
No. I don't think that stadium's even legal. I think they're gonna have to play.
Yeah, that stadium is looking mad. If they are in the Prem next season.
No, guys, what are we doing?
We didn't even discuss this mazine of a game. Guys, Leeds 3, Wolves 2. Wow.
I completely forgot about that.
It's not. Yeah,
I didn't watch it. That's why. That's why I didn't watch it. So I don't know. I just saw the scores. Like, fair enough. Fair play to Leeds. I think they're gonna stay up.
Robin, this game was mad. Wolves were 2-0 up, comfy, cruising. Red card to Raul Jimenez. The game flips on its head. Leeds go and score.
He needs to calm down with these red cards because
it was a second yellow. Like it wasn't like he. But
it feels like it's every other week he's getting a red card now. I'm like, what's going on?
I mean, it's the second red card of the season.
That's what I said. It feels like. That's what I said.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
my team of the week is Palace, though.
Yeah, it's Palace.
All right.
No, I'll keep it there.
I'm Barcelona.
What was the new thing that we adopted last week?
Early showers. So this is a new segment. It's focused purely on the football, but you just play crap in your game. There was quite a few people.
Who's taking it?
Well, no, it's just multiple people. Multiple people go in. It's not just one.
Who are you giving it to, though?
Tyrone Mings, he needs to go in there. He was absolutely shocking against Arsenal.
For he needs to go in as well.
Ashley Young needs to go in there.
Right. He was awful.
He was awful. I could actually throw the whole Aston Villa team in there if I wanted to.
They weren't that bad. Mings can have it.
I know. I was just annoyed. with them. Who else did I see play bad? See, SW6, the whole Aston Villa team was shocking. There was another name I had on my list. So I had someone in my head, and they've gone. I need to look at the games again. Anyone from each other, Oscar, that you saw that you just like, this is absolutely bad?
Nicola Pepe, throw him in there.
Eddie Nketiah. That is who I had. Eddie was shocking when he came on. He came on.
Hey, do you know one of the most shocking things for me is Arsenal fans turning from Eddie being one of the great youngsters in England to they can't stand him. For me, it felt like it happened overnight. I didn't know Arsenal fans disliked Eddie.
Give it 18 months. This is how you're going to be speaking about Hudson-Odoi.
Nah, come on, man. I've been riding with Cho for 4 years, man.
Oh, listen, come on. He's 20. What do you mean you've been riding him for 4 years? Come on. When are we going to...
fall off, man. To the wheels fall off.
Okay. Oscar, hear what you just said. He's 21 years of age, and you've been riding with him for 4 years. When's enough going to be enough?
He broke through at 17. What you want? What you want?
Do you honestly want to know what I want?
What do you want?
A Premier League player. I want, when we're talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi, not to be referring to under 17 football. That's what
I've never referred to under 17
or reserve football.
I told you last season what he did to João Felix's team. But you know.
Okay, what's he done since?
He's done all right this season, man. Scored against Malmo.
Oh, that's another person I wanted to put in. Trent needs to go in there for his performance against Arsenal. That was not good.
Yeah,
not good at all. Yeah, he needs to. He was.
I didn't see the game. I heard Martinelli put him in his...
Yeah, Martinelli was on him all game.
I think Martinelli had like 100% completed dribbles. Like it happens, isn't it? It happens. It was a bad game.
Yeah, man. You don't see my. Listen, every week. Let me drink my iron brew.
Lola said, Oscar, don't do that. Eddie never had the hype like Saka or even Nelson. Fox in the box striker who's always been acting like he's already done.
I agree.
No, man, I think he did have that hype. When he was on that, he's the top goal scorer for England's under-21 ever. Like, Arsenal fans were giving it that. When he was on loan, where was he on loan to? He was
I'd rather take Balogun than Eddie Nketiah.
I mean, Balogun's enough.
You mean he was on loan at Leeds in the Championship and he was a starter? Is that
no? There was one where he was clapping goals and he was doing this, and they were posting the video of him on Twitter every day with them. Come on, man. It's cold celebration, man. Shout out Eddie Nketiah, man. I hope it works out for him. Clearly not going to work at Arsenal. But early showers...
No, Leeds is the only loan that he's had. He scored 3 goals in 17 games.
Yeah, but those 3 came quick, man. I'm telling you, they came quick. Early showers are going to Pepe. It's going to Eddie Nketiah. It's going to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Is he getting one?
Yeah, no, he's getting one.
I'll hold it. You know, if even a broken clock is
Mings needs to go in there. Ashley Young needs to go. Like I said, I would happily throw the whole Aston Villa team in the showers. But yeah, no.
Right, so those guys in the early showers, you need to think about your performances and you need to move on. Who is not that guy this week, ladies and gentlemen?
Mandem, for me, they're not that guy. I have to give it to South American football because I put in the group chat earlier. How am I seeing on my timeline? Football fans are throwing grenades onto the pitch. They threw grenades onto the pitch. Like New World Old Boys, their game got suspended because they created their own grenades for flares and threw them onto the pitch to the fact that they created holes in the ground. I could not believe what I was seeing. But yeah, for me, New World Old Boys, whatever that match was, not that guy. Not
grenades.
One bit. Yeah,
they threw grenades.
That's
grenades onto the pitch.
That's like the wild one. Is this Call of Duty?
Battlefields now. What's
how do
you even get your hands on a grenade? That's terrorism. That's acts of terrorism. No, it's terrorism.
Can I deliver the next not that guy?
Yeah, go for it.
This is a man who has received not that guy before for his antics on camera. Please, ladies and gentlemen, stop putting a camera in front of this guy. Yeah, there was a cameraman snapping a footballer outside their car. Put the camera in his face and said, "Hi, what do you do for a living?" The guy says, "I'm a professional footballer." He said, "What's your name?" He says his name. He says, "What team do you play for?" The guy says, "Nowhere exciting," and carries on. Now, this would all be okay. This would all be fine if your face was not on camera, if we didn't know who you were, and if you hadn't been caught earlier this season disrespecting your club on video. Ivan Toney, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with this guy?
It's disrespectful, man. It's so disrespectful.
Nah, it should be fine at this point. Like, if I was on, I would find him.
What club do you play for? Nowhere exciting.
Especially after the incident the last time.
When he said he died for the Nyash earlier this season.
He said F Brentford with a smile on his face. He denies Brentford.
And now he said no one special. Mm-mm.
Yeah, come on, man. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace.
But yeah, he's 100% not that guy.
Hey, you know your agent must be just so annoyed with you. What is going on? Lola says Ivan Toney needs to stop acting like he's done enough to be trashing bro. Thank you. Why does this guy think he's bigger than bro? Why does he think he's bigger?
Maybe because he got, I don't know, maybe he got Brentford to the Premier League because he's been scoring. I think he's the highest goal scorer for them. Probably.
He's got 11. He's got 11 goals in 25 league games. It's hardly swashbuckling, is it?
No. And I think he's trying to get himself to play a move.
Good return. I don't understand how you can be that dumb. I mean, you got caught for this not 3 weeks ago. Why are you doing it again? Boss Lakendo says, yes, Oscar, my guy. This guy is too arrogant. Who is he?
Who is he?
Some guys think they're bigger and better. Yeah, I heard Tensi says how many penalties. 8 penalties are goals, man. We can't take them away.
I think like 7 pens, something like that.
That's what Boss Lakendo is saying. 11 goals and 7
yeah.
Yes.
No,
Speaking of Jesu, Mandem, where are you this Friday? Because the timeline is going to be, it is the first leg of Nigeria versus Ghana for the World Cup.
They're doing over 2 legs.
It's over 2 legs.
That takes a bit of a sting out of
Friday. First leg's Friday. I think the second leg is the 29th. So I think that's a Tuesday. But over the 5 days, it's international season now. So I think it's now, all the last games left really. So who's going to qualify for the World Cup? So my question is, who do you think is going through? Oh, those 2.
I'm gonna say Nigeria. I think Victor Osimhen is a huge deal.
Well, mankind. No, big up him. I actually even joke about that because that injury he got was actually
man. But he's come back from the injury and he's scoring goals. I think they missed him at AFCON, innit? Because
they did. He's a quality striker.
Yeah. I think he's going to take them over the line. Ghana's cohesion was off at AFCON. I'm judging this all on AFCON pretty much, innit? Ghana's cohesion was completely off then. So I think they're going to pull it back. Even Lola's saying, look, Nigeria should go through, but don't be shocked if they move dumb. What's like Endo said, Nigeria versus Ghana, Salah versus Mane part 2. It's getting interesting. Might actually watch the international.
You see. What you've said there is getting interesting. What I'm saying is, why do Africa have so minimal spots? Yeah. At least 2 really, really good sides aren't going to make it because we can only have 5 teams in the World Cup. Whatever.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. I think Ghana and Nigeria should both be at the World Cup. I think how can you even have a tournament without the African nations in it?
Do you know that the Oceania lot don't even directly qualify? They have to go through the playoffs. So they win their thing, whatever they do, and then they have to go to the playoffs to actually qualify. They won't actually get a spot until the next World Cup when it increases to 48 teams. That's when Oceania will get their first automatic qualifying spot. That's how deep it is.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace because, as Oscar said, the AFCON champion could potentially not make it through. The AFCON finalists. So you got one of the AFCON finalists and the AFCON champion not making it through, and then It's a disgrace. Like with all due respect, it's not like it's Burkina Faso or Sierra Leone. So obviously you can't go to me in the comments, or Comoros. These are some really, really good sides. Not making
they're good sides,
really
man. They're good sides that should be able to fight for their place, man. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Well, maybe we're gonna.
We might not even have the European champions. Obviously, not going to the World Cup.
Italy.
Yeah.
But Italy are a farce. And guess what? They've at least got a second lifeline. So
Yeah, man.
Where did they finish? Third in qualification.
They finished second.
We're going to get our wish because the World Cup will be expanded, and I think in 10 years they'll probably expand it again because they want it to be as big as possible. So
is the next one in America?
America, Canada, and Mexico.
Boss Akendo said, "Did y'all see the African teams in the 2018 World Cup? Not one made it through the groups. Yeah, but that's 1 year. We've had years where they've made it to the quarters. So, I don't.
Well, was that South Africa?
There's been two times a team has made it to the quarters. So there was South Africa where Ghana made it, and then I think in 2018 another African team made it to the quarters. Or did I make that up?
No, I think you're thinking Brazil. But yeah, I was thinking, no one in Brazil made it through. But yeah,
never mind.
Oh, that's another person that needs questioning. See you lot that believe that Gareth Southgate is going to be the one that takes England to glory. Every time I see him picking these teams that want to actually go into the qualifiers, I don't see it. I do not see it. I think. There are players that shouldn't be in it. He said that Harry Maguire walks into this England team, no question asked. I was like, okay. He's picking 2 injury-prone right-backs over other people.
Who are the injury-prone right-backs?
Kyle Walker. And who's the other one? I can't remember who else is in there.
Kyle Walker.
Not Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker's a replacement.
I mean centre backs. Centre backs is on one. Like 2 injury centre backs, and no Tomori, who's been killing it for AC Milan. Yes. I just feel like he's just picking his favourites really, and it's not going to help him to get. Let's say he gets a Brazil in the group stage, he ain't getting past them or Argentina, and people are saying that because he led England to the final in the Euros, he's going to lead them to go in the World Cup. I was like, big man, he couldn't beat most of the teams in the Europe. When you introduce Argentina, Brazil, people from Africa, it's all on for England. So I don't know what's going on here.
Long, man. I got no faith in Southgate. I agree with Boss Lakendo. Sancho deserves to go.
Sancho deserves to go.
Not in that squad.
How? He said that he's not done. He said he's not done enough. I said, excuse me.
I think you know what it is. I think that's my issue with the squad. It's like if you've got like a rule of thumb, fine. But it's like you say on the one hand, players like Sancho and Rashford haven't done enough. The Rashford one, 100% agree with you. Sancho one, I mean, have you watched him for the past sort of last few weeks, maybe even a couple months? Okay, fine. That's your rule of thumb. You're picking players based on form. But then Harry Maguire, who's genuinely been in the bottom 20-30% of centre backs.
Said it was a no-brainer to pick Harry Maguire. I said, what?
Which is disgraceful. I mean, look, on the one hand, it's like Harry Maguire is actually pretty good in the back three for England. I mean, I disagree with it. I understand it. I disagree with it, but I understand it, to be fair. Because like Maguire did win. He was in team of the tournament in the Euros, and Gareth Southgate seems to be able to get something out of him playing in the back three. But looking at it from the outside looking in, it's an absolute disgrace how Harry Maguire can make this squad in this kind of form, and Fikayo Tomori and Fikayo Tomori doesn't make the squads because he plays in a different league. That is an absolute disgrace.
There's even other ones like Luke Shaw is a joke. There's other ones like Emil Smith Rowe, who I think is a good player, but
he never start for Arsenal no more.
Start for Arsenal. So how are you dropping players like Sancho? You're taking players like Emil Smith Rowe. Like I don't really understand that.
My days, Oscar. Yeah, that's weird. That's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. But Southgate, England are going to perform well in spite of Southgate. I think they'll do well to probably get to another quarterfinals. and then go home after being beaten by a much better team. But as long as he is the manager of England, I'm not excited about their prospects for anything. I'm sorry.
So who would be an exciting
until he picks logically, I won't get excited.
Yeah.
He needs to pick logically, and the logic has not been there for the last few breaks. I just don't get it.
Well, he's not a great manager, is he?
No, not one bit.
So guys, within the realms of reality, like, who would your next a bit of fantasy booking here? Who would your next England manager be?
Super Frankie Lampard. No.
Absolutely not.
You don't even want to make tournaments anymore, it seems. Fine.
I have a subsequent question.
I've got one.
Are you guys okay? Are you guys okay with? We've had international managers not be from that country.
Yeah.
Do you prefer that, or are you just don't really care?
Can I be honest with you? I think that rule is a disgrace. First of all, I don't think men should be in women's football. Right? When I see Phil Neville, I don't care. Cool.
That was not what I was asking, but all right.
I might be wrong. When I see man like Phil Neville in the women's game, taking up a good. Phil Neville was the England manager, for God's sake, taking up space from a promising woman manager. That don't sit right with me. Just because you can't crack it in the men's game, that's one thing. Secondly, international football is international football. I think you should be from the country.
100%.
You should be. If you're English, you should manage England. If you're Portuguese, 100%. You should manage.
I don't understand. It
defeats the whole purpose.
How are you allowed foreign coaches and foreign managers? That doesn't make any sense.
Because they do it a lot in the national African teams. Like they have
they've got like random Brazilians.
They do it everywhere. It's not just Africa. They do it everywhere. But like
a Swedish man was manager of England for 5 years.
Why is that allowed? If you couldn't play for the club as a player, for the country as a player, then you shouldn't be able to manage them. That's what I think.
That's what I was asking, really.
To answer Adrian's question, I couldn't tell you who should be next England manager. Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe or Graham Potter. One of the two.
There we go.
Eddie Howe or Graham Potter.
I'd go Graham Potter, man, because I think he's got a succinct style of play. His talent ID is okay. He needs to be tested at a higher level. England ticks, I think, three of those boxes. Let's see what he can do with a better group of players, because he's got a clear style of how he wants to play. And at this moment of time, he's probably one of the best coaches we've actually got.
Yeah, man. It's an unusual job, the England job, man. I don't think it's easy by any stretch. Like, you don't really have.
It's not easy.
You don't really have the players. You don't really have time to build. Like, an international job is not like a club job. But I would like to see a manager.
At the same time, I agree, but I disagree. Because whatever country you represent, you have access to hundreds and hundreds of players. It doesn't have to be from the top league. You have the right, as an England manager, to pick from the Championship if you want.
Yeah, but
you just have to look for what's best. What do you think can be the best for you?
Yeah, but the reason the reason I say it's
tough, get the gelling thing.
It's not necessarily that. Like, I do agree that like they have a wide scope. They can pick whoever. But like, if you're Southgate and let's say you're going to pick a right back, you're saying, look, Trent is my number one right back. All of a sudden, he's been injured and withdraws from the squad. So my number two is Reece James. Same thing now. Reece James has been injured and withdraws from the squad. I can't pick Kyle Walker because I've dropped Kyle Walker and now I can't have him as a replacement. So I've had to bring in Tyreek Mitchell to give him his first senior call-up because those two players have been injured. Like, there are little annoyances like that make your job difficult. And then when it gets to the actual tournament, you don't have long to implement your style of football and get that across on a pitch.
They give you like two friendlies versus like Belarus and the Faroe Islands
it's not long at all. It's not long at all. So when we talk about a player like Graham Potter, I don't know how long it's going to take for a manager like Graham Potter to implement his style on these players. Like, it might not work. It might not have the time to do it.
But then again, going back to Robin's point, I think because you've got such a wide talent pool to go from, it is sort of easier to find the players to work. If that makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it should be easier. Because number one, you don't have to do like the negotiations with another club and all that stuff. What you're gonna pay for me? You literally say, "I want you to pay for the country," and then they will just come through.
So I'll give you an example. Gareth Southgate has a way in which he plays with England. And you see what I'm saying? Like he's able to develop that over the years. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so I think obviously it is tough because obviously you haven't got a preseason. You see these guys maybe once every 6 weeks, but I think it accelerates. I don't know. And I guess every international manager is in the same boat anyway. They've equally have.
Every international manager, my difference doesn't pick random people every international. What do you call it? In every international break. I feel like with England, I'm seeing people that shouldn't be there in the first place, should be replaced by other people, and at the same time, just picking random people because they played good in one game. And then he comes out with excuses with the people that should be picked, saying that they're not playing well enough, when clearly the players that are playing well enough are much better than the players you picked. And that's my gripe with Southgate. Like, you're not making sense. With France, we know exactly who's going to play for the French team, what position they're going to play, and how they do it.
That's different.
I'm not saying this. I'm saying France because their talent pool is even harder and wider. It's a harder job for France to pick because you've got so many dons. But you know who the core is. But you know who the core is and their style. I would say France is harder to pick because there's loads of people in France that are ballers, even from the under 23s and under 18 levels.
That's the same with England. Like England's got a load of mid-level talent that's all the same level. I don't think the quality makes it easier because
I agree with Oscar.
Because it is quite tough. Like if we picked our England team, we're all picking different players, man.
Yeah,
we're all picking different players, and it's not to say that any of us is wrong. We could all find a winning formula in our own way, but yeah, it's not easy. I won't give it that.
I'm not disagreeing it's easy, but when you're picking just absolutely the wrong players, that's when I question you. Because we can all pick a different team, granted, but it would make sense. England's teams don't make sense. And that's why they suffer.
Yeah.
France teams make sense.
It depends who you're asking.
Yeah.
No, I think Southgate's team makes sense. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah,
I don't agree.
But I guess we'll talk about this more next week when the games have actually been played, and we'll see.
Oh, raw! I see why Endo says what he says.
What?
Like you put because obviously he literally asked you a question, yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Sorry, it's because we were talking. I just forgot about it. He said, "What's you man's England back four? Mine is Trent, Stones, Tomori, Chilwell."
I'd go Walker. Stones. Yeah, go on.
Nah, Walker, Stones, Tomori. And probably if he stays fit, yeah, I'll pick Ben Joe. The reason I have Walker over Trent is because I just don't trust Southgate to get the best out of Trent. That's just my personal opinion.
I go James over Trent, and you're not gonna hate me for this, but I think I go Maguire over Tomori. You know.
In a free, yeah, that's why I struggled. When I got to that one, I struggled.
Because Tomori and Stones, to me, they're like the same type of centre back.
But I think Tomori's got more P&P though.
Yeah, but they're both like the ball playing, like comfortable. Like they're not the commanding one. Neither of them are the commander. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're both B's.
Maguire's trash, but he's at least a commanding centre.
He's an A. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I agree with you.
So yeah, I feel like Stones and Tomori just wouldn't work. I think they're probably the best two in terms of quality, but I don't think they'd work as a pair.
Actually, Oscar, do you know what's the same thing?
What's that?
Stones and Ben White.
Yeah.
That's literally a clone. They've both got the same pros. They've both got the same. Huh?
Did Ben White make the squad?
Yeah, Ben White made the squad.
Yeah, he did. Ben White.
I think Stones is better than him though.
All right, last few comments before we wrap up. Boss Ender said, "Yeah, you man, see you next week. Big up you. Up the red men. Jurgen quad in full effect. AD, leave me alone. Stop suspecting my identity. Robin, lay off the iron brew. Oscar,
I'll never lay off the iron brew. They need to sponsor me. It's sugar free, guys. Leave me alone.
Sugar free iron brew.
Yeah, man.
That tastes like.
I think James is a bit
Legit.
timid when he plays a better off position.
Sounds like a freaking disgrace.
I think James is timid when it's like taking players on and all of that stuff. Like going forward, he can be timid. But if you're playing in the back four, you would have more attacking players on the pitch. So he wouldn't need to do that as much. He just needs to overlap. And I think he'd be good in the back four. I think
Walker's the best in the back four of those options.
Recovery pace height, man. If you got tomorrow, you don't need that. Recovery pace, man.
We can end it there then.
It's an attribute.
Yeah. Anything else? Anyone got any last comments for the weekend?
Nah. I think we're good here.
Right, man. That has been Top 4 Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Another episode in the can. We will be back next week.
Oh. I'm speaking to all the listeners now.
Go on.
We've got officially 9 games left. We as a Top 4 podcast set a target to get 200 subscribers by the end of the season. We are on 171. That means we need 29 more subscribers. I need all of the people in the podcast, in those listening, to like, share, and tell your friends to subscribe. Trying to get to that 200. We've got 9 games left. We're trying to hit that target. So we really appreciate it if you actually share with your friends, get them listening, get them interacting, and make sure that we can get that 200 mark. So I'm challenging you, all of you lot that are listening out there, let's get to 200 subs by the end of the season. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Big up everybody that's been locked in. We appreciate your comments, man. Big up Tenzin. He says we need to promote better. Yeah, man, we do. But we want you to help us, man. We appreciate you, though.
We need help. It's a team effort, and you're part of the team. We need you. So, yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. But thank you lot for watching. Thank you lot for listening. Please like the video. Please subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
See you. Peace.